Diamond opens up the round on Monster. How did
it even happen? Yeah, it just happened, man. Just accept it at this point, right?
What gun did you get? No gun, I guess.
Maybe a Marshall? No, Monster definitely bought into this round.
אלו.
Anyway, Musashi.
וואו, הגענו בול באמצע, בול בזמן.
So that's all the information that Ascend need. All the rotations come on through. Musashi peeks out of the smoke again. Good for one, but Alive is there to help. And Shazion is just being shot down little by little. Bits of his body flying left and right. And there you have it. Ascend, keep it going.
If they would have planted the spike here, I would say this is a fairly successful round. Still getting 2 kills when the opponents committed to full players buy. All of the 5 players had the guns. This is semi-successful. Now, when it comes to the buy from Ascend this round, they're actually committing... no, it's okay. This is a true bonus round. They have enough cash to have a full buy for the next round, so they can be a little bit more aggro this round as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna see like some very different holds on the defense side this round than from the normal full buy rounds. But it seems like Viper comes to see. Killjoy is rotating between the 2 sides. There's a lot of space being gathered by the A players. So that gives them so much information when it comes to what the attack is doing.
And the utility defense power that Ascend have with Viper and Killjoy is massive.
Yeah, oh, this is a crossfire setup right here.
The snake bite drops. Benny forced out when Monster collects him. He's down to 10 points of health. But, you know.
1 for 1.
It's 1 for 1.
Typically, that's not good for the defenders. But you would think that Badiji learned his lesson from the first rounds of attack, but this is the second time he's being caught like this.
He's a bad boy. He doesn't listen.
Well, 4v2. Yeah. Now the side should be clear. If there's anyone like holding still this side, it's gonna be a deep position. Now they have the information about the race player coming in from Waterfall, so they now fully expect at least that one player from that angle. They don't have a flank hold, flank held by me and utility by the Killjoy, but that's fine. They still have the numbers advantage.
Brody has got all of his util, all of it. Haunt, Seize, Double Prowler, Alive. He's also got his Boombot to throw in, but they already know that Ascend are coming in from spawn. So full players having their heads turned around towards them. It's scary. It's kind of scary. So Ascend, they're going to look for picks.
This is just like an exit kill round right now.
I feel like Alive is going to play a bit of whack-a-mole.
9-5,
I'll try and hit it.
Any kill here,
הגעתי בול בזמן, אני מבין.
Great outcome. So let's see if that's going to happen. Shoulder pick happening from Brody. He gets one. That's already job done. 2 kills on the full buy round. And they get the... What?
What? Shazion and Azori stick around.
9-6. וואלה, CGN הם אחת הקבוצות... CGN הם אחת הקבוצות היותר חזקות בטורניר הזה לפי דעתי, וגם לפי מה שאומרים. יש להם שחקנים ממש טובים. זאת המפה הראשונה כרגע, בחירה של... בוא נראה. עוד שנייה נראה מי בחר את המפה. בוא נראה. אסנד בחרו את לוטוס. לוטוס ואז ביינד. אני לא יודע איך הביינד של אסנד. אני מניח שהוא סביר. אני לא חושב שאסנד לוקחים ביינד יותר מדי. מה איתך? מה איתך אייל? מה קורה? Drop down early, alluding to the idea that they may have pushed. It buys some time for the rest of CGN to force their focus towards the right-hand side. But Ascend is not biting. They're just... וואלה, הרגע חזרתי מהעבודה, שתדעו, חזרתי מהעבודה ישר, כאילו... לעשות watch party למשחק, כי אמרתי שאני אעשה אתמול. מה איתך, אכילס? וגם, אני גם ככה צופה במשחק, אז למה שלא נצפה עם עוד אנשים? And it's gonna get them a lot of value because you can see if the players on A side they have such a deep angle hold. וואלה, פריצה ממש מטורפת של לאסנד, אחלה הולד יש להם על A, יש להם אינפו מטורף גם על A וגם על C. עכשיו כמובן בגלל הרעשים על C הם יגידו לו לשחקן אחד לעשות רוטיישן, אבל משום מה הוא נשאר. נראה שזה הולך להיות פייק על C וספליט B. ומה אתה עובד? שופט. אחלה של קיל. איי! טוב, טוב!
טוב, מנסטר, היא מלא, איזה סוסו, היא מלא. מעניין איזה עוד שחקנים ישראלים חוץ מאליו הגיעו לרמה כזאת, לא יהיו. לבן היה את הסיכוי שלו ולא הלך. דני כבר לא משחק במחשב. שונפי אולי עם איזה קבוצה תשים עליו עין בספליט הבא, בעזרת השם, אולי. רב תן לו עוד איזה שנתיים אם הוא יתמיד במשחק, ולפי דעתי הוא יגיע, וכל השאר אין להם סיכוי. זה גם לא CS, הבעיה שוולורנט זה לא CS שאתה יכול לעשות גריינד בפייסיט, להגיע ל-FPL, לככב ב-FPL, ואז קבוצות יחטפו אותך. בוולורנט אין לך איך להתקדם חוץ מטורנירים כאלה, כאילו, אין. זה הבאסה. וואי, ברודי, איזה טעות. טוב, גילד, אחלה של קאבר, והאחרון גם ייפול. נו. יפה. 11-6. תוצאה מפתיעה טיפה מול CGN. תחשבו ש-CGN הפסידו בכל הספליט שלהם פעם אחת. הם הפסידו פעם אחת לקבוצה שסיימה במקום השני, ואז ניצחו אותה. וכולנו יודעים איך הלך הספליט של אסנד, לא בצורה מזהירה כל כך. למרות שהסתכלתי וכל אתרי ההימורים אמרו על אסנד כאילו בצורה די חד משמעית, כאילו ממש יחס של 2.80, 3, 5 אפילו ראיתי.
capable of doing so. There's a short-tune element, but it's got blade, so that's okay. And you can see Ascender actually pressuring this right-hand side. And the only way for CGN to try and clear some of it is with his Hunter Story. Baddy G barely skates away from that.
I've seen him dead twice. Yeah, I was like, why is he not shadow stepping? This is very risky. But he just avoided that fully, but just...
בכללי זה כיף לראות שצופים בבחור ישראלי 8,000 אנשים, אחי, תחשוב איזה מטורף זה. נראה לי הכי הרבה שראיתי שצופים בבחור ישראלי בוולורנט. 8,000 אנשים, ותחשבו שלאט לאט הם יגיעו לפלייאוף, זה יהיה אפילו יותר אנשים. אוי. איזה מלוכלך המוסכי הזה. היה להם רז ולרק יפה של הקילג'וי. אולסטר יכול לקחת כאלה, אתם יודעים? הוא לא פרייר, הפרייר הזה. לא משנה. איי. איזה באסה, 11-7. לא יכול לשמוע את לוטר, אחי. זה לוטר, נכון? אני לא טועה. מה? למה אכלתי טיימות על סימן קריאה קאסטרס? וואלה, אם מגיעים עד החדש הזה שעשו, שיהיה לו בטא, יהיה כמו FPL. לא. זה לא יהיה כמו FPL, זה אפילו לא דומה ל-FPL. זה יותר דומה לפיקאפים, אחי, מאשר FPL.
Yeah, well, the Alman ult is not the best, but the value out of Brody's, Musashi's, and Alive ults here are just, it's quite a bit threatening. And all we see Brody actually...
גם זה, לפי דעתי, אנשים משתעממו מזה מאוד מהר.
What CGN just did right now is open up the B-side possibility by taking down all of the Killjoy utility. In the meantime, pressure towards the right-hand side makes Ascend unaware of where the hit is actually going to come through.
Yeah, this is a very peculiar situation right here. They know about two players...
אסן לא משחקים את זה טוב עכשיו עלי. אני אהבתי שהם שיחקו את זה אגרסיבי כזה, בזבוז של אולט. האולט הזה לא הביא לך שום אינפו ושום תועלת. היה עדיף לשמור את זה כבר. למרות שתראו איזה אולטים מטורפים יש לאסנד, כאילו הם לא אמורים להפסיד את הראונד הזה.
close by next to the tree. That was cleared before, but no longer, so they don't really know he's there. Brody sees his place, but they're turning their attention towards this beat.
אחלה של אולט ממוסחי.
Their smoke's covering it. The lockdown will come through, but the plant has time to go down. Can they get out of time? I believe they do. Shazia
לא, בוא, הם צריכים עכשיו, הם היו צריכים לפרוץ את A. טוב, היא מלא. איזה סוס, אחי. לא, גילד, מוסחי, לא. מה אתם עושים? לא, מה אתה שם סמוק עכשיו, יא קונוס? איי איי איי, איזה מחירה נודר, איזה מחירה. לפי דעתי, גילד לא צריך להיכנס ככה, הוא היה צריך לחכות עם האולט ביד כאילו. כי הוא כבר היה יותר מחצי אם אני לא טועה מתי שהוא שם אולט. הנה בוא נראה, כן, תראה. מתי שגילד נכנס לשם עם האולט, כבר היה טיפה יותר מהחצי, אז אם גילד היה פשוט מחזיק את האולט ביד, במקום לראות אותו, הוא היה יכול... הוא היה יכול להרוג את השחקן שבא להרוג את הדפיוזר. 11-8, וואלה, התוצאה מתחילה להפחית טיפה, לא אשקר. בעיקר שעכשיו זה טיפה הפ-ביי כזה. אז כנראה יהיה 11-9. הנה, אני אוהב את זה שהוא חוזר לשחק אגרסיבי, זה טוב.
But then Musashi gets a kill out of nowhere. What happened here?
Brody was all the way up close and personal with CGN, but he hops his way back to safety. He's got a marshal, and I think that his opponents know that. So less than gets the job done. Goodbye.
טוב, נייס שוט. תן לו טאג, לא, תסתכל את השני. לא, איזה... אוף, איזה טעות של גילד. כאילו, הרעיון לחפש את הקיל נכון, אבל אתם 4-3, שני שחקנים עם נשק, לפי דעתי הוא היה צריך לחכות במצב הזה, לא להפיק ככה. טוב, בדי ג'י, מלא, באס עליך. זהו, שניים האחרונים חצי HP. שזיים. לא. אוי 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 אוי. לא טוב בכלל. לא טוב.
And Musashi got the first blood, and you can see here how Benny fights and equalize the numbers while they have the better equipment as well. So the
time out, הגיוני.
essentially just being negated.
לחשוב טיפה. גילד עם 19-12, מוסחי 18-13. מה קרה לאסנד? הם לא היו פעם ארגון בטופ 2 כל הזמן במשחק הזה. מה שקרה זה שהיה את הפרנצ'ייז, שהיה רוסטר מניה מטורף, והיה אז את הפרנצ'ייז, וזה היה נראה לי, הפרנצ'ייז קרה בדיוק אחרי שנגמר, שאסן ניצחו את הצ'מפיונס. ומה שקרה בעצם זה שלא הזמינו את הארגון עצמו לפרנצ'ייז, הזמינו מלא ארגונים אחרים, אסן לא היה אחד מהם, וכל השחקנים שהסוסים של אסנד עזבו לקבוצות שכן נמצאות בפרנצ'ייז הזה, בטיר 1. אז זה מה שקרה, ואסנד היו צריכים להביא קבוצת טיר 2. לא שעכשיו הם קרויים או משהו, אסנד גם עכשיו ממש טובים. איזה כפיות טובה. לא כל כך, עידו סיני. הרי מה הייתה המטרה בפרנצ'ייז? אין להם בחוזה משהו שמגן על הארגון? לא, ברור שלא, what the fuck. אין להם חוזה עם ראיות. הרי מה הראיות השיגו בעצם בפרנצ'ייז הזה? הם הביאו לארגונים עם הכי הרבה צפיות, ועם הכי הרבה רוסטרים, עם הרוסטרים הכי פעילים במשחקים כמו ליג אוף לג'נד, רוסטר בנות נגיד אם יש. וזה קבוצות שמביאות להם הכי הרבה צופים בעיקרון, כאילו קבוצות עם הקהל הכי גדול. אותם הזמינו לפרנצ'ייז, כאילו, אני מבין את הרעיון מאחורי זה. הם הביאו לקבוצות טובות, קבוצות ארגונים ענקיים. להם הם הביאו פרנצ'ייז, כי הם רוצים סך הכל כסף בסוף. בסוף היום זה המטרה שלהם, להרוויח כסף.
Crosses do come through paranoia, but I don't think he's caught the most aggressive one, which means he can't fully pick that up.
Look at the Sage wall just altering the normal way of playing on B side. It just denies the crossfire from CT and the Hobbit door.
ועכשיו פנאטיק, הקבוצה הכי טובה בעולם בפאר, אחי, אז מה עשינו בזה?
Brody has the reveal ready. Alive has the full util essentially here, and he just gets a
טוב, גלעד.
As ever, Shazzy on his air to hold it down. CGN back in action, but it's all being traded equally as ever. 3-on-3. Benny forced out.
איזה חולה נפש.
He can hold on to his own. No problem to that. Spike touched. Increased.
טוב, גלעד.
And we're still all square.
טוב, גלעד!
Making wonder work without Odin.
תסתכל! גלעד! לא!
Not even halfway. And Vince knows it.
פאק!
And he'll close up the gap even further. Puts it
מלא, גלעד מטורף, אחי.
closer to Ascend score.
גם שחקן כזה מצוין, וגם משחק על 0 פינג עכשיו בגרמני.
And because of that, you can see how the attackers were reluctant to peek. They don't need to peek because they know that the opponents
איזה פאן זה, אחי.
And that allows Vince to separate the kills and such a crucial also flank. He was allowed because of the time that was being bought with all the utility pieces that were still available for the attackers to have this flank towards Hobbit from B main, by the way.
Yeah, and I feel this is the first time after a timeout of Ascend's side for them to not actually gain any ground from it. It's and that's actually
וואי, לא היה איזה 11-6 או משהו? 11-6, 11-5? מחר לצערי לא יהיה מסיבת צפייה, כי יש לי אימון, למרות שבאיזה שעה זה? תלוי, בוא נראה באיזה שעה זה מחר. רק שנייה, אני בודק 9. אז לא יהיה מסיבת צפייה מחר. אבל מחרתיים יהיה. ברביעי ביולי יהיה. הרביעי ביולי זה יום... לא זוכר. לא, ברביעי ביולי לא יהיה. תגביר את האיכות, זה על הכי גבוה. והאינטרנט שלי פשוט גרוע. בוא נראה, אולי אני אנסה לעלות ביט רייט. אבל יכול להיות שיתחילו... יכול להיות שאם יתחילו דרופים אז אני צריך להוריד. זה ה... 11, וואי, איזה קאמבק מלא. אמרתי לכם, CGN קבוצה מצוינת. כאילו, רק טיפש היה חושב שהמשחק הזה גמור. בעיקר במפה כזאת שהיא יותר T-side מ-CT-side.
but also get the kill, the opener, shift their focus towards the C side, see that there's a lot of pressure happening from the defenders on the C side, and that is okay, because they can just leave it completely free, so all of that util being used by the defenders doesn't really benefit them, because they had a stack of 2 players on C, but the problem is, they pushed them away, so they push the players into B side is hold it because of the ultimate, so they get it for free, and then
lol.
on side, they can
זה בעצם הרביעי זה יום שלישי. מחר יום ראשון זה השני. אז בעצם כן יהיה ברביעי. הרביעי זה יום שלישי, כן יהיה.
This is a potential problem, as you can see, in the ultimate economy, because Send has 3 impactful ultimates, while CGN Not really. They have one possible initiation on this round if Azuri gets 2 orbs. Let's see if they're gonna go for
יש להם גם את האולט של ברודי, גם את האולט של מוסחי, וגם את האולט של גילעד. זה ראונד שיהיה מאוד קשה להפסיד אותו, מאוד מאוד קשה. וכבר הראונד הזה לא מתחיל טוב. אוקיי, הלך להם הרז, זה מעולה. איי איי איי, טוב, אחלה טרייד, יפה, יפה, יפה. בסדר, זה מעולה. הלך להם גם הרז לראונד הזה, וגם האינפו. לא נכון! איך אלמנט הבוט הזה הורג אותו?
Never going down without a fight, without a pick, maybe 2.
A monstrous hold.
If you could say that.
That was terrible.
That was. It's okay. All casters have them. Welcome to the life.
Time and time again.
Time and time again. The legacy can. No, that's for the desk. That's for monologues. Sorry.
Still, they have the numbers advantage. 3 versus 2. But
It's
a secondary wave. Lurk gets additional value, and now he opens up the C side. So this was actually insanely valuable. Lurk coming in from B side. And it gets.
אוקיי, הם לא מצפים, הם לא אמורים לצפות לבדי, לא משנה, הוא מאחורי הדלת.
Defenders are separated. Not anymore. Ascent realize they have to go with the trade, so they come next to each other. What is the utility? Do we have?
וואי, אני לא מאמין, איזה עוד זריקה ענקית של לאסנד, אני לא מאמין שהוא הרג אותו ככה, אוקיי. זה כן, בטח שזה עושה לו טאג, נו. אין לו כלב? אין לו כלב, אני לא מאמין. נו, אומייגאד, אחי. סי, יש לך את ה-Q שלך, Q. איזה ריטארד, אחי. אימא'לה. אני לא מאמין.
Everything set up that round for success. They had the numbers advantage, they had the map control, but then Element with the opening kill on the B side, right here. This is the moment when the round just fell apart. Element was allowed to gather the space, get the second kill, separate that numbers advantage that they had, the numbers advantage the opponents had, and because of that, they were able to hold the side impossible and with a very specific crossfire.
I believe this has been 7 consecutive rounds for CGN. No, 6, sorry. This is
Why is Benny again the first contact when he has the ultimate?
I mean, he's getting it done. Never mind. I recently traded. I'm biting my words here. I really am. But still, fight still goes in favor of Ascent, given that they still have the space. But for CGN, they've lured the players.
לא טוב, הם איבדו את הווייפר.
Manipulated their opponents in such a way.
Yeah, I feel like this is a round where Ascent should probably bank the retake on that Killjoy ultimate that they have. So B should be kinda easy to retake with this ultimate. A side, not really. We have seen that already happening.
Difficult.
It doesn't really get the value out of 3 area unless you plant it already on site. So what is the plan for the defenders right now? They are even in numbers, so they're losing map control because this map is such a huge map.
I believe they've left the A site open for approximately 15 now to 20 seconds. So it's very possible the CGN have made their
תירה! איי איי. הייתי בטוח שהוא שומע אותי.
It's awkward, but he TPs to safety, and he waits for his team now. He's going to be happy about that one. But let's see if they can guarantee it. Like you said, lockdown available. Alive might be walking into the lines. Then he's found one.
איי איי איי, הוא מביא גם את הזורי הזה.
And Brody needs to pick up a Zuri before they focus elsewhere.
וואו, זה אולט מטורף. זה אולט מצוין. זה אולט מרגש אפילו. וואו, איזה אולט, אימא'לה. יפה מאוד, יפה מאוד. איזה אולט מרגש, וואו.
Very well played by Ascent. This is, as we mentioned, there were the problems with the location of the Killjoy lockdown because it doesn't give you that many advantages. You can see the reposition here towards the stairs chaos area, which is then the lockdown being put in first. But Alive cleared the first very problematic area to get into the staircase. So very well coordinated by Ascent. They allowed that Killjoy lockdown to get the value, and the stick was like, you can almost not make it any better because the amount of time that they had for that defuse was exactly what they needed. So very well played by Ascend. The retake was really well done. The contact was also played correctly. And such a hard round for CGN to hold it.
And I feel for Ascend, they finally broke the streak, right? It's CGN building up momentum round after round, and finally Ascend had a piece of it, are able to breathe. Because keep in mind, I believe the round score was 11-6 at some point. I think it was fairly certain that Ascend were able to close it out. So for them to be able to bring themselves to an overtime, get them back into an equal position, 2 consecutive rounds gives them a win, makes this a little bit more fathomable. Pressure at stake, and both of the teams playing with their timeouts to get their coaches in on the plan.
Yeah, but it's kind of sad to see like how much like Benny taking the first contact in the 2 last rounds and not using that ultimate was painful to see. And that's one of the issues that I have with Sage. You don't get a lot of value if you want to be proactive. And Benny taking that contact, I feel like he put a lot of pressure on himself. You can see him actually top fragging. So he was being put into like those situations, or he himself puts himself in those situations to be valuable to the team because of the lack of util. But when he has the util actually to get the value out of it, he wasn't putting his teammates into positions to set them up for success, or at least take a chance to be successful.
So there's definitely value there to be taken from the CGN side.
Right here.
Whether they adapt to that to future games, we'll have to wait and see. But for this one, there's only one goal here. Close out the game. And on defense,
there's a reposition of the Viper orb right now.
Okay.
You can see there's a double smoke setup. So the Jet will never get any vision control, I would assume, because this Viper orb should go up in any moment on the staircase. And that's where the value or the lurk can happen.
ooh, that's interesting. That means that potentially Monster and Baddie G are looking to move through. Our drone utilized, given that element is no longer there.
Monster actually peeked into that Sova drone when it was running out of time. Interesting. So now the orb is up. So
show presence to obscure their movement actually to the seaside.
אוקיי, הם עשו מצוין באתק אם אני לא טועה, אז בואו נראה איך ילך להם. טוב, לא מצוין, אבל נראה לי שהיה 6-6 או 7-5. כבר יש להם מלא. נו! וואו, באדי ג'י. כמה זמן, אחי. נו, מהר. גילד, נייד, משהו. אוקיי. לא משהו. אוקיי, נייס, אחלה טרייד, 2v2.
And we're looking at a 2-on-2. And that 13th second mark, the spike goes down.
2v2 יש לו 2 ניידים, חבל שהוא שם אותם ככה, what the fuck.
Going for the flank. Does he have enough time? He's tiptoeing his way around. So it's going to
תפעיל לנו סום אחד.
for him to
איזה קונוס.
CGN.
הוא הפעיל.
And that might actually give a chance for a life here. No one's turning around in time. They can account for the presence of one player, but trigger the split.
גילד! הוא היה בטוח שהשני מדפייז. טוב מאוד, איזה ראונד.
Such a chaotic round because nothing was certain. The position of the spike was not perfect for the attackers. The nanoswarms were there to delay the defuse. You can see how anxious the defenders were to even get to the spike in the first place, but they had to clear the nanoswarms. The timing of the lurk was definitely not perfect, but that's why he didn't clear the corner, because he had to be agile while shifting. He had to gather as much space as possible, because if that spike is being held, he's never gonna interrupt the half.
Yeah, and what makes it more expressive? Am I ordering a coffee? What made it more impressive was that headshot came off of a spray. The adjustment of it was what gave them the win.
Buddy, you're not being fully covered there.
Whatever. Let's continue into this next one. Ascend. They struggle a little bit towards the latter end of that half when they were on defense. So let's see if they can get this done this time around.
I really would like to see those shock towers being used on any of the nanoswarms.
איזה אנגלים מלא.
Oh my.
מה? לג, איזה באסה.
He actually got hit in the legs. That wasn't a wall bang. I think it was just out in the open, hit in the knee.
וואו, איזה ריאקשן טיים יש לבן אדם הזה, חייזר, באמת.
Well, he gets the heal, but still, they got that information about the potential plan of the attackers.
Prowler will be spotting out element, so that gives away that position. it just walks away
It's
instantly.
30 seconds and the Jet is lurking on A side, so they will never benefit
dear.
from the dash on the execute.
They're gonna
He
have
has
to
to
keep
run
trying.
up.
And Raid's
20 seconds
Killjoy,
left.
They've used a lot of their utility.
הם חייבים לדעת שזה C.
Alive still has got a set of paint shells and a blast pack to delay. This is squeaky bum time for CGN. And especially when Alive gets kills like that, it gets even more troubling. Masashi
No.
back with a shorty, misses. Alive still there, but does misplace. 6 seconds, holding the spike plant, but Alive finds himself the kill showstopper.
טוב, גלעד! לא למכור, לא למכור, לא למכור, רק לא למכור, לא למכור, לא למכור, לא למכור, לא למכור, יש, יש, יש. טוב, גלעד, טוב, גלעד. יאללה, בוא נפרסם את התוצאה רגע בדיסקורד של גלעד. updates. Ascend wins first map. לוטוס. איך רושמים לוטוס? רק עם L, נכון, כן. שכחתי לרגע. לוטוס. They are up. 1-0. next map. bind. בוא נחכה שהם יעלו את הסקור. איזה מהירים. אתם יודעים שבמשחק הקודם היה לגלעד כפול, נראה לי 10 פרסט בלאד מכל שאר השחקנים. היה לו 13 פרסט בלאד במשחק הקודם, כאילו. בוא נראה איזה. טוב, זה לא כל הקבוצה ביחד. זה יותר זה אותו פרסט בלאד של כל הקבוצה שלו ביחד לגלעד במשחק הקודם. טוב, אני הולך להביא לי איזה משהו לשתות. בינתיים... מה נעשה בינתיים? אתם רוצים לשמוע את דרלינג שר בינתיים עד שאני אחזור? אני יכול לארגן לכם את זה, אם אתם מתעקשים. זה. לא, זה לא זה. הנה, יש את זה.
You took your time with the call, I took no time with the fall, you gave me nothing else.
אני כבר חוזר.
נפש מיוסרת, וכשהוספתי חטא על פשע, ראיתי איך לפתע נוצרה פה מציאות אחרת, וכמו תינוק זוחל אלייך אהובה, מתפתל כאוב אל זרועותייך, ואולי תראי על פניי את הבושה, נשפכת כמו עפרי לרגלייך. בשבילך נוצרתי, רק איתך אני קיים, ולידך מרגיש ובלעדייך נעלם, וליופייך נשך את השפתיים ונדם. איך זה תופס אותי, איך בשבילי את העולם. יום ולילה תיקון לנשמה, כינורות בוכים במנגינה מוכרת, ואת עושה אותי שמח, דף חדש אני פותח, ובליבי האש חוזרת. היום אני בשל לתת הרבה יותר, לאהוב אותך עד השמיים. בזכותך למדתי כיצד לא לוותר, לשמור עלינו כמו על העיניים. בשבילך
נו, נהנתם? כך אני קיים! איך אני מרגיש? ובלעדייך הנעלם! יש גם את זה.
נכנסים לזה, צ'ט. איירונים, מיסט יו סו בד, 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 יאללה. איירונים, צ'ט. גולדים. It's hard to look like I hate you baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so
call me maybe. זהו, קיבלתי התקף קרינג'. נחזור לטוויץ'. יאללה, עוד דקה. שדרניג יפרוש מלשיר? למה? תראה איזה יפה הוא שר, אחי.
Welcome back to VCT Ascension EMEA. Ascend managed to close out their own map, but they did get pushed to OT. And as you can tell, you're very happy about that. Tux is smiling.
I'm extra happy.
Tux is smiling. He's like, yeah.
No, actually, it was a very close match. It was going both ways for both teams. We didn't know who's gonna finish it, but it looked at the end like CGN has it completely wrapped up.
Yeah, it would have been awesome, Tux, really. I would have loved that if that would have been the case. Genuinely speaking, though, what we see right here is an Ascent fighting back in such a great fashion. Overall, they were in the driver's seat for a good amount of time.
Yes.
Started to have problems, particularly in the second half. Once more, down in the beginning, timeout came, boom, back into the driver's seat. The big issue came later in that second half, where CGN found out a bit more how to approach their attacking side. Overall, though, Alive has to be highlighted. The man has played incredibly well in the series.
And I would say, because Alive performed on this map, and he's up to 29 kills, watching Element having the bottom of scoreboard on part of CGN, I think if he actually performed on this match, we could have seen it going...
Maybe in a different universe. But not this time around. I mean, look, yesterday we said it ourselves. We were looking at Brody, and he was the one that was continuously showing up. And we said it, we wanted to see more from Alive, and he actually did that for us today. 312 FCS, you know, that's not a low number.
No, that is not a low number. That's nearly 300 for you math cracks out there. So to be very honest, that was just one part of the game. I think it came obviously down to individual plays, right? As always, you really need to perform on that level. You need to find the frags. I think every coach will tell you, I'd rather have someone finding kills than someone who's super nice and smart but doesn't frag. Part of the game. It's a shooter. It's a shooter after all. But most importantly, though, you know, I think it was once more defined by things. I would say it's fair to say by things like the timeouts. Honestly, you know, CGN was in the driver's seat, as mentioned before. NBS, it feels like post-NBS timeout, 100% success rate.
But watching CGN on defend, actually, I think they had a very good half.
coming into attack. They should have been doing better, approaching the sites in a better way. But I think it's all that mattered is that space control they can gain with the compositions they are running.
Yeah, and Ascend was actually quite good at gaining space, but also zoning. And round 8 was quite a good example in terms of what we expected from this comp and how they delivered on it.
Yeah, especially if we're talking about like how actually CGN was actually defending on their first half. I think they had the zoning completely going their way. But talking about Ascend and how actually they tried to execute every single site along B side, C side, and A side. They always use their utility very smartly. They know when to actually zone out CGN out of their comfort zone using their snake bites, pain shells, and also nano-swarms. And also, let's not forget the C's coming outside of Brody's hands.
Yeah.
And that is the most important part. Right now, we saw that there was a reaction, there was a smoke being thrown, C's coming out, and Musashi holds the entire C. There was never an opportunity for an over the entire map lurk from the side of CGN. And also, Musashi was really annoying. He's being present, he's being like, we're coming here, we're coming there, but Ascend was using this well, baiting out opponent's utility, making them believe into C, with following up over on the A side. Sure, there was not too much weaponry left on the CGN side in this particular round, but this was a reoccurring theme for CGN. Ascend used that really well. They didn't take any aggressive space. No rubble, no mound, no peeking early. It's a CGN game plan, but it was perfectly used by the composition. And this maybe is one of the reasons why the Fate has been picked, because they know how passive, even though once played this split, CGN plays on defensive side. Prowler in, all taken. What do you use your utility for? We have that space.
Especially when you have a Sage on your hand, you can actually take that space very easily. Using one slow orb can actually zone out a whole team. Using extra utility, you can zone out, you have the wall, you can actually deny A side very easily. Like, I can imagine a lot of scenarios in my head right now that actually CGN could have used.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of maybe their strength and their weakness at the same time, and I think Ascend used their strength against them.
Yeah, one of their strengths as well being Monster, who had quite a few pop-up performances here and there, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he actually performed on the Viper. He actually did his role by anchoring the site with Killjoy as well on the site. They worked very well, like Musashi and actually Monster played very well. They know their utility. They understand each other. We already talked about Musashi being very supportive, and I think that's very good to see him on a Viper, even though he's just assisting his teammate to actually hold the site. I think that points out.
I think this is how it feels like in medieval times to try to have a siege on a castle, and you know they all have their gates up locked, throwing fire from that under. You have archers. What I'm trying to say is, you're trying to get into the side, you're trying to make it work. Last second like that, everything is thrown at you. And this was the perfect anchor, even though he just didn't find too many kills. That 4K was nice, but CGN, no chance. You couldn't go and see. That's the castle.
So you're saying they were too over-disciplined, over-passive?
No.
With their approach, CGN?
That's a chapter.
That's a different
That's
story.
a chapter. That's a book.
I feel like your analogies are a little interesting. Medieval times. Don't know why you're bringing that up, but we have technology these days, and one of those pieces of technology is called Augment that you guys can now use to actually break down some of these rounds and explain to us and the viewers why things went the way they went.
Thank you.
You being nice.
I think this round is actually one of the most interesting rounds we have.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's a very interesting word.
Yes. So we're gonna use our toy.
Yeah, I always say this is like what you get under the Christmas tree, and you're just being excited for it. Like, yeah, I can play with it all the day. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be tech support.
Yeah, please.
No worries. Okay. Hold on. We're doing this. No. Oh. Look, it's 2023 right now. We have flying robots.
Okay, good.
And a tablet.
Alright, I think we're ready on screen. Yes, let's go.
נו, שיתחילו את המשחק כבר, קוסמת.
As we can see, the presence and the setup that they have on C-side, that's different, that's new. We didn't see this in the second half at all. We always seen Azuri having the position of element in this round.
Right.
So that's a very big change that they had this round. Okay, I can do this. Or clear, yes.
There you go.
It's much more easier. All right. Okay, let's go through. Okay, after the presence that came from Alive and the trade kills, actually if Monster didn't peek right there and made it a number advantage for his team, it can like go to C side having such a difficult time dealing with it, especially on element side. But it appeared to us with element location that they have multiple options. It's either B site or C site, depending on what's happening in C. As we can see, going through the round, furthermore, we can see that they have disadvantage in numbers, 4v3, and they're going to be a 4v2 right now after the pick that Monster got as well on Azuri on C side. After that, we can see the hero play coming from Element, gaining all that space and buying time for Vince to actually get a very good position on C side.
And most importantly, take a look at the timer. When you play this, we're 1 minute left on the clock. And they're waiting. They just hope for the right kind of timing. Element does exactly that. 45 seconds left on the clock. This is where you finally make the decision of getting yourselves onto a site. And as we keep on playing, Tux, you see that this timing works out brilliantly. C site is now open.
And what I liked about it is because Vince actually helped Element gain all that space. And I would love to also give Element so many credits, because all of that space at the top right here, he got it by hard work. And really, for real. And look at this. He doesn't go into site to work with Vince. No, he's like, I worked for this space and I'm gonna keep it. And that's what actually gets them the round. Running on the round, they try to make an impact, they try to go on site. A lot of utility getting used by actually Ascend to try and gain the site again and again and again. Vince grabs a pick, tries to get the second, and there it goes. Element has it because he didn't give up on that position.
Yeah, and you know what? This was a round that was defining 12-11, right? This was getting it so close, so, you know, kind of tough.
Having such a hero play on this amount of time that you have is incredible. So I would give a lot of credit to Element for this fantastic round.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, hero play coming out from Element, but Alive also a hero himself in this game, specifically coming out on top as the MVP. Both of these players, we know they have the fragging power. Alive might not have shown up yesterday, Element not really showing up in this first game, but it's a matter of getting into the second game and really getting the ball rolling, because at the moment, Element is on 168 ACS.
This is not normal. Okay, Element is a top 5 player in this entire competition.
Are you talking statistically or
No, both. As an individual and statistically. And he is an absolute maniac. But this is not an Element performance. This is not a regular Element. This is not the Element I know. In head-to-head, you have to listen to this. Those two had 10 duels over the course of the entire map. 9 of those have been won by Alive. He diffed Element. It was a legit duelist diff. It was an absolute duelist diff, and Element was sitting there like, I'm scared, I'm not confident, I'm not working the way I should. And I think, as Tuck said in the beginning, if he was alive, literally, CGN would have won.
Yes, like, look, let's be honest here. Alive was playing on the Raze. If we're comparing Raze with Jet, the only thing that Raze doesn't have is the survivability, the mobility, the amount of Jet is an unpunishable agent with that dash, I would say. It's really hard to punish that agent. And you have that mobility to work around with. You can actually grab those frags and run away. But I guess Alive actually came on top, not just because he's just playing Raze, or maybe I think the team made him work very well, considering the compositions, having the Cs. We talked about the utility they're being used, the zoning out, for example, on execution. They zoned out CGN out of their comfort zone every single time.
And Bind is coming up next, and one of the agents that we basically expect to see on Bind is going to be that Raze. So having already warmed up, having already getting the kind of ACS that Alive and that impact that he's had on this game, the synergy with the team, I mean, that's making Bind look incredibly scary for CGN.
Yeah, but it's CGN. I'm sorry for saying...
That's really good, hard-hitting analysis.
I'm sorry, listen, hear me out. So first of all, this is a CGN pick. I think this is where we can start. This is a great thing to look at. Overall, Ascend is a decent, this is a decent map for Ascend. It's not like it's particularly great. It's not like it's particularly miserable. I still believe with what we have recently seen from CGN, this is too close for me to say like, yeah, they're not going to win this. They have already picked it against Mouse twice, played it quite well. I personally would not be surprised if we once more see a more compositional change on their end regarding that particular map. Okay. Overall, I believe the passiveness that Ascend previously showed in the previous games on that particular map might be the key to success. Because one thing we learned from CGN, CGN is slow. And if they continue to do that on on attack that way, don't see it happening.
I think that it's just the different play styles. Like if we see Ascend is starting on attack, I think they do. They always put an impact in some areas on the map.
Yeah, the raise is also going to be coming through for both teams. So we have Alive and Element on a mirror matchup, but all in all, the compositions are pretty similar.
They are similar, and it is nothing, literally nothing changed regarding this map, right? Ascend previously on Bind in particular played very passive, particularly in their attack, right? They are very patient. They're trying to delay. They're trying to see what they can do with the slow orbs. They're trying to deal with the flashes, see where someone is coming towards you. But CGN on their defensive side will not come towards you most of the time. They wait it out. They stay patient. And this is something where Ascent needs to see, okay, where can we prod? Where can we move in? Where's the weakness in their defense?
But have they played the Viper on this map before?
Yeah.
Ascent?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not the Breach?
No.
Okay, maybe I am tripping.
No, don't say that. Mix-ups happen, and that's okay. And a mix-up...
I think it's just because their composition right now, I would focus on Brody, on the Brimstone.
On the Brimstone. I mean, Brody has been kind of the star of the show, so again, it's going to come down to how he will perform on this map. But the rest of the team also rallying behind him. CGN, however, this is their last shot at being able to push this to the final decider and getting a point on the board. Hello, Pavlos. Hello, Lothar. You guys enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, and my favorite map is coming up, so I'm super excited. Mine is awesome.
All right, bye.
Have a good time.
All right, yeah, no, this is cool. We've already seen the first map very close, right? Ascend, able to close it out in the end, but I could obviously see CGN. There was a world where CGN could have won it. Now heading into the second map, where do we see this unfolding, Lothar? Because do we have a better idea of there's a possibility of CGN taking us to the third map?
Well, this is CGN's map pick, but the way they played it in the past is kind of, let's say, relatively easy to anti-strat for Ascend. So I'm looking forward to that happening. And because of that, I feel like Ascend is going to take it 2-0.
2-0 for Ascend. Very possible. We've heard it from Lothar. Let's see what you guys think at home. Write it in chat. I don't know. Just scribble some words or an emo. You can write.
Vote it. You know?
Vote it. Is there a vote? Maybe. Hopefully. But yes, we'll be heading directly into the matchup. It is going to be Bind, our second map of this series. CGN starting, of course, on this defense. Ascend on the attack. And let's see if indeed Ascend are able to close it to a series, right? B2-0. And it's definitely what both of these teams are looking at, right? Being 2-0 in their group straight out of the bat.
Very slow opening from the attackers over here, so that's not really surprising because it's Bind. It's a little bit more defender-based. You want to gather a little bit of space. You look at the Viper wall, by the way. That denies. Oh my God, denies.
Oh, Shazion is just melting them down. Where did that happen? He had a flamethrower of sorts, and all of a sudden, Ascend just disappeared. Where did they go?
Crazy.
They haven't disappeared from the HUD yet, but yeah, now they have. Alakazam, abracadabra, I guess.
Well, that's why pistol rounds are always interesting to watch, because why on earth would he get a 3K in showers with a ghost against 4 players? That's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Now this round is insanely tough for Ascend to win. Oi! That leg was visible, but still alive, gets the kill.
Yeah, he does. And that puts Ascend right back into contention, drawing it to a 2-on-3. Bit more fathomable.
He's not taking any space. So the problem is that now not only the space is not being taken, the side is now being cleared. You see the paintshell being used aggressively. I love this.
Taking a chance and it actually pays off. 2v2, alive.
Equalizer being done there.
Amazing.
Is incredibly important for the attackers now. They have a crossfire setup. Viper is the first contact, then the Razor's gonna swing. So that lurk through the elbow area is incredibly important.
It's
now
exactly
when that orb is up, they're gonna check the other angle. They know about the other player being already out.
And they're gonna try and isolate the fight towards one of them. Vince might be right in front of him, but
did he see him or something?
His brain is massive. He can read the entire universe. Element, though, onto the spike, taps it. Alive is no more, and now he's going to stick with it. He's got no other chance. There is no time. Monster's got to swing, and he will get the kill. Ascend, find the first pistol of the second map.
2v5. 2v5. I just wanted to remind everyone, this This started with a 3K from Sova in showers. This was like unlosable almost if you just look at the numbers. And yet Alive was able not only to get the space on the B side, get that incredibly important frag right here on the Viper, but also coordinated with the teammate that push into CT. I was like pointing out that he's not taking the aggressive space, and now we know why. Yeah. Because he was communicating with the teammate to combo that with the orb to get the timing, and it was really exceptionally well done.
Shazion is probably shaking his head at this point.
Yeah, he's reporting teammates for sure.
He's reporting teammates, that's it, that's done. Okay, potential for Sen, they're going to be taking over this round, they're going to be steamrolling. I kind of want to look at the compositions here, what to expect from this round. You know, once isolated, we can leave that aside. They're going to be winning this round most likely. What do we expect from this round from these two teams?
In general, this round, this is gonna be just like aggressive pushes and just trying to get map control. But as you can see, Alive is holding the flank, and I'm not surprised that he's actually the one player that is doing this because they play with two ghosts. So the players that without guns are gonna be holding the flanks just for that specific player because they don't play with sentinels, right? I don't count Sage as a sentinel because she's not a passive controller. She's not a passive space controller. So in this case, it's just like you have to sacrifice one player to hold the potential.
Oh, come on. Alive is the only guy without a gun in the Ascent team. Well, there's Monster as well. But still, come on,
He gets the ultimate. That sets up a tone for this round right here. And because of that, I wouldn't be surprised exactly what happened here. Monster goes for the Vandal. Because now they know that they have the potential opener. That is that Showstopper represents. So we're gonna have a completely flipped planning.
Holy shit, חזרנו.
Than you would normally expect.
מי ידע?
This is not a typical bonus round. Who gets an 8-orber on round 3?
And the fact that, you know, the Stinger has been dropped over to Alive.
2-0 כבר.
Looking at a hyper explosive Alive right now. He's going to double blast back Showstopper in. I feel it, man. He's going to try and steamroll his way through the site, opening it up. Trailblazer to lead the way.
Gets there for the player.
Alive leading the charge. That's exactly what's happening in the
איזה בזבוז של אולט.
Managed to execute it in time, and Benny is still alive. Azuri.
מה, אתם לא יודעים איפה הוא? כאילו, אין אינפו?
They both lose their lives, but there's reinforcements. They bought enough time, and that's where Element comes in to clean up the last remaining player, CGN, on the board.
I think Alive just messed up the animation cancel on that Showstopper, and because of that, he was not ready to shoot the rocket on that enemy who was exposed with the Sky Dog. That is such an unfortunate situation. Right here, this should have been already a shot, but instead he went for that satchel and it's just easy target. No, relatively easy because he's middle middle somewhere in the map, over in the air. So,
but he's not shooting back. So
yeah, exactly.
You've got time.
So that is, I would say, extremely lucky round for CGN because could have ended in a disaster if that Showstopper goes off.
It really could, and Ascend could have found quite a lot of pace off of that one.
Yeah, but now they still have a full buy. There was a bonus round. Could have been, different completely, flipped on its head. But they have to work through the normal plan that they probably expected to have. So
and we've seen Ascend and CGN play before on these same agents. I expect to see the fairly standard play that they normally do.
And Benny, because of the hold that he had on the B side, now has also the ultimate to either regain space if there's anything happening on short, then he can...
בוא נראה, משחקים 3 לי, 2 על B, מעניין.
There's like so much potential when it comes to Sky, giving the informations here for the defenders is going to be...
הם משחקים כמו שאתם רואים על הפאץ' החדש, שהטיפי כבר קרוב.
The first 2 rounds we have seen a Viper wall that is crossing through the site to deny the informations from the triple player.
וואו, איזה קיל, מלא.
Above the Viper setup.
That elevated angle just caught them off guard. Didn't quite have the crossfire and the crosshair and that.
אחלה לרק. לא, הוא יתפוס אותו שם בהוקה. לא, מה, הוא ראה אותו?
Oh, and Benny's no more, but he won't look behind him in time. Azuri doesn't take the fight. So Musakshi actually stays alive.
He's behind the wall.
This is brilliant. He's behind his own wall, and the rest of them will walk through. They think it's clear. They don't check the right corner. And that's
למה שהם יחשבו שזה קליר? אף אחד לא עשה לזה קליר.
That's a spike dropped and they cannot be collected. The Musashi has to take the fight. He has to move in right now, but Element collects it, and CGN find themselves the equalizer.
Impossible run to win once that spike lands in hookah. Once you have to retrieve it, you have to jump down to
אוי אוי אוי.
plant it, and he had 10 seconds.
איך הם לא הרגו אותו בהוקה, אחי? איזה מכירה. הם גם ידעו שיכול להיות בהוקה, הוא בדק את הצד שמאל, פשוט ברודי לא עשה כלום. ברודי היה אמור לבדוק את הצד ימין, והוא לא בדק. טכניקל פאוז.
All of that was being done because of the Viper in hookah. That hold, that double kill, that's like the impact kills. Sometimes you look at the scoreboard and you see a player that doesn't have really many kills, but when you watch the actual game, you see that his kills were round deciding. Those 2 kills from Missouri here have that much impact. His hold was incredibly important, even though they lost the sky. Benny on City was being killed while ulting, still gets them the win because of the objective that he was holding. And also very important, that spike in hookah when it's being teleported from A to B doesn't really have a lot of room to wiggle when it comes to the spacing, because the time is running out. So you have to go through that death trap in a hookah.
עוד כך בצד התחרות של ולורנט, אם אסנד ינצחו את זה, אסנד יהיו קבוצת טיר 1, לא. בשביל להיות קבוצת שנחשבת, אין כבר טיר 1, טיר 2, יש פרנצ'ייז ולא פרנצ'ייז. פרנצ'ייז זה נחשב הטיר 1, כל השאר זה טיר 2, טיר 3, טיר 4. פיינס צריכים לנצח את כל הטורניר הזה, את כל הטורניר כולל הפלייאופס, לסיים מקום ראשון, לסיים מקום ראשון בליגה המטורפת הזאת, כדי להגיע לפלייאופ, להגיע לפרנצ'ייז של שנה הבאה. עכשיו, הסיכויים שלהם לא מזהירים במיוחד, כי יש קבוצות מטורפות בבית השני. אפקס, ג'נטלמייטס, פוקוס. אסנד אמרתי, לא פיינסט. יעני ללאן של שנה הבאה, זה לא לאן, זה פרנצ'ייז, זה ליגה. זה כמו לעלות מליגה אזורית, כן, זה כמו לעלות מליגה ארצית לליגת אלופות, כאילו. כמו מליגת העל לליגת אלופות. זה המעבר, נסביר את זה במונחים שאנשים יבינו. זה בערך כמו שמכבי חיפה הגיעו לליגת האלופות. זה יהיה הרמה של ה...
So essentially, the player that is attacking from short, the Viper that is lurking, is able to isolate the angles from lamps.
ואז הם התחרו מול קבוצות מטורפות, כן?
Peek on site because the box is not being covered by the wall. So it sets up multiple pressure points for the defenders, so they always have to hold it. Because if the wall is up, if the smoke is up on lamps...
רגע, עכשיו הם בלאן או רק בפלייאופס? הם בלאן עכשיו, הם בגרמניה.
have the vision of what's happening behind the wall, so that puts a pressure point on lamps because someone has to hold lamps. It's very ineffective to hold, and that's why many teams, including Fnatic, include Cypher in the compositions, because Cypher is able to put a camera over the wall on short and it just hold it passively and gather informations over the wall, so they always know if someone crossed the space or not. And here, without that sentinel, you're not able to counter that position, and because of that it's going to be very challenging to hold the A side. So I'm expecting a little bit more pressure coming from Ascent towards the A side, because that B side seems to be held very well by the defenders.
Absolutely. We see Ascent taking elements from other teams, and I feel for CGN, they've got their own identity, right? From what we've heard from the regional expert, Zesht on the desk, CGN does like to invent their own things. They don't really like to borrow from other places, and the way they've been playing out the entire season with their creative comps and whatnot. Did I just see Mel just put in... No, I don't know who it was, but we saw Sage's eyes for a second and I got scared. That was a jump scare. I didn't think Valorant was a horror game, but apparently it is. But yeah, as I was saying, CGN, completely their own identity.
And you can see this a little bit in that Viper wall from the defenders, actually. So we can draw a little bit of comparison. The Viper wall here on that B-long actually is set up in a way that synergizes with the sky flashes. Because of that, when you pay attention to the left side of that Viper wall on long B, there's like this small square, not square, triangle being cut off next to the teleporter, which allows the Sky player to hide behind and flash from that area. Because of that,
הם הולכים לשחק על במה בפלייאוף, לא יודע, יכול להיות.
typically to play in garden. So it also allows you, when the wall is being put up, like instantly up at the beginning of the round, to cross into that space and not being spotted, because the wall covers your position. So it's a little bit, and also if we don't forget about the position in hookah, when you can hide behind the wall, as we have seen in the previous round, which was very effective. The only downside of this wall is that it doesn't cross towards the DP area on showers. And that's the other one that typically is the meta choice, right? So it helps with the shower control. But as we have seen, the shower control is not a problem because of the Sova. So we have the
nice balance of it.
Yeah, we have the recon arrow being used in front of showers to gather the informations. If that is being destroyed, there's always the Sova drone to get a second layer, gather the informations from that shower, and it's instrumental for the defenders to establish the shower control, specifically because of the Viper setup on short. Like there's many layers to bind because of the setups that you have pre-planned because of the Viper, and also because of the DPs, which always come with the new bind with the new bind layout.
סמק, מי שבר את המחשב שלו בטח? זה הסטרימר Dead by Daylight שאני הכי אוהב לצפות בו, אתם יודעים?
Is because there's a TV show called Wellington.
בוא נראה, אולי במשחק השני יש גם משהו מעניין. לא, גם טכניקל פאוס, מה?
Oh no. We just keep going. We just keep going. At least Ash has got the ring. Makes it a bit more interesting.
טאקס, נתן קיי, לוגן, זה כמו... זה BDS בעיקרון.
You know, you were gonna send us down a rabbit hole, and then
Nigga
the
case.
so rudely interrupted us. So rudely interrupted by yeah.
טוב, יש טכניקל פאוס חבר'ה, אז... נחזור עוד מעט. בינתיים אני אלך לי למיטה עד שיתחיל.
And we're back, everybody, for the match of CGN versus Ascend. We had a slight tech pause. We had a bit of an affair we had to deal with. But now we're ready to get back into the get Mel. No, thank you. Yeah.
Keep them out.
Just had to tell Mel off for a second there, our observer, a lovely cinematic observer. But it's okay. We're back into the action. Ascend
taking over the attack, but this one is going to be the challenging one because of the equipment that they have. Although, two ultimates are actually one orb away. Here you see Sova taking early the shower's info, so they know there's nothing happening there, and because of that they can relocate their forces towards short, but they are smoked off.
Yeah, Vince already got 2 kills through the smoke, through a wall, and the headshots. That's crazy. It kind of is. Alive, though, he's found himself to the backline that is trying to deal with it, but the fact that smokes are in a way that box himself onto a corner of the site doesn't allow them to have access to Vince because he's got himself to the back of the site. One player's taking the TP, he's got the spike with him, and he'll have to deal with Azori. He's in hookah right now, although they don't go after him, they go all the way around.
שקלתי אם לחזור או לא, אבל בסוף חזרתי.
Because the Viper is like, no, they're not going hookah, so most likely they're going back to A. That's why you have C.
יפה מאוד, קיל חשוב. טוב, גילעד. יא מפלצת.
And Ascend are right back into the fight. They started their first round with Sheris, and now they've got more players than their opponents.
אוי אוי אוי. הלך הוול, זה לא טוב.
Flank in the making. Masashi's looking at him. So is Batty. He's low. Going right after him. Showstopper doing work on the other front. Expecting.
Oh my god, איזה רע.
Goodness, it was close. It got scary, but CGN stick the land.
איך, הם התחילו באדוונטג' כזה מטורף. איך הם הפסידו את זה? אני מת לדעת מה קרה.
I mentioned Viper gives all the information that no one is coming through the hookah. So the
טעות ראשונה של מונסטר שזינה להם את הראונד, ואז שתי טעויות וצ'י-צ'י.
The player from, I don't know, the barrel position, let's call it barrel, holding short, that was the brimstone, was not holding lamps. And because of that, the two players holding CT were actually not holding anything. Because of that, they lost 2 players and they had to re-hit with the ultimate as well. But fortunately for the defenders, they got it.
טוב, גילעדי מלא. הבן אדם הזה לא מחטיא כלום. הוא פשוט חי את החלום, אחי, באמת. הוא חוגג עליהם. עכשיו יש לו גם אולט. וואלה, הבן אדם חוגג עליהם באמא.
This game, but also in the previous one, that gives so much space for defenders.
There's a push coming through. Wait, he's got his knife out. Just in time, brings out the Phantom.
טוב.
The players come before him. Azori takes a
איי איי איי. אף אחד לא מצפה שם לעוד שחקן. איי איי איי.
I mean, the German up against the Germans, he will try and be superior in this situation, but he's not really in a position to be favorable. And the spike is in the hands of Azori. Vince is there to help out. There's Element trying to help out as well, but
you can see the reposition of the players.
לפי דעתי זו דיפנד מאפ הארדקור, אז עוד לא, המשחק עוד לא גמור, כאילו.
For the defenders, but what I loved here is that defenders, after losing Sova here in showers, they took this space on the other extremity of the map. That's typically is going to happen on almost every single match of Valorant, because you need to compensate for the loss on one side with the push on the other. Now the thing is that they went with 2 players towards the B long, but one was hidden, so the Sky baited for the Viper, and it was extremely effective.
Yeah, nice little micro play there to give them the advantage. Not only that, put Ascend right back into the dumpster when it comes to their eco. Just a Spectre and Marshall when it comes to riflery, SMGs, you know, significant weapons. While the rest are holding out on their hand cannons. Send again, very similar, the same Viper wall towards that right-hand side, an A, but the meat and potatoes of this fight is going to lean towards this left-hand side. Benny right underneath Hookah will be the first line of contact. Guiding Light comes away. Benny just cleans up. Simple, really.
Very simple and
איך הוא לא הרג אותו?
And I was just kind of like clenching my buttocks by seeing how they go into those lines.
He's not lying, by the way, he actually was.
It's like, I was just seeing it visibly. It's gonna happen in a moment because the flash is not effective. They just woke up into a crossfire. That is not the way that you want to go into a site like that. And the Viper will just puts up and separates the forces
And
as
that's
well.
it. Spike is under their control. That's it. It's done. Donezo. And the center probably hoping for an MBS buff with a timeout soon because they're going to need it. They're falling a little bit far behind. Obviously, with a buy round coming up as well, that would be quite fruitful for them. You know, expectations below this one. But let's see if they can do any more damage. No, doesn't seem like that's to be the case. No, Alive actually gets ahead of Element. Well, that's all it is. Because CGN just increase the score differential to 5-2.
Not only that, they built up a huge amount of cash in the bank, so they don't have to worry for, you know, buying hardware for the next upcoming 2-3 rounds, maybe depending on what they buy. But they also have a potential to just snowball ultimates. Their utility right now is stacked. They have 2 ults, 1 orb away, 2 are active if I'm not mistaken. So they're able to be proactive. Yeah, we have the Viper pit available, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's gonna be a very specific setup happening on A side. We're gonna see most likely a Viper pit being used on shot, a one-way on showers, then a support wall on B side. Because of that, most likely 3 players are gonna be playing on the B side, while only 2 players are gonna be playing on A side, and then controlling the showers is not gonna be as important because of the second line of defense, which is the one-way. So there's 2 ways of countering that if that's going to happen, because then the attackers are going to be able to push out the Viper because of the Showstopper and the Sky ultimate.
Yeah, there's a lot available for Ascend right now.
Yeah, and the Brimstone as well can ultimate the lamps. So there can be like potential counterplays if this is going to happen. Technical pause allows me to talk even...
עוד פעם! תשמע, אחי! איזה טילט, אני עוד שניה נרדם פה. תראה את גיל עד 12-6 וכל הקבוצה שלו סך הכל 8 קילים, אחי. שמע, איזה פחים של השפוט. אשכרה, לבן אדם יש פי 3 קילים, אחי, מכל שחקן בקבוצה. אשכרה, תחשוב, זה כמו קומפ, אחי, שאתה יוצא עם איזה בוט אחד שמסיים לך 0-50, אחי. בדיג'י וברודי לא מצליחים להרוג אף אחד. טוב, אני הולך להביא לי שניצל, כי זה לא הגיוני כל הטכניקל פאוס שיש פה. נגמר חוזר. אם הם לא יעפילו חס וחלילה, אני מקווה שקבוצת פרנצ'ייז תציע לו הצעה, לפי דעתי בטוח, גם אם הם יעפילו, תראה אחי, בנג'י פיש פאקינג קיבל הצעה מרטיקס, אחי, איזה סיבה שאלייב לא יקבל.
did have a timeout, but it doesn't matter who draws a timeout, both teams get to talk with their own coach, so discussions have already taken place, Lothar. So yes, all of these things could have been brought to the table. They are all aware of the ultimate usage available, they're all aware of the economical situation, that there's a buy finally coming in for Ascend, and you know, and we're slowly seeing what you said, Lothar, the increased versatility of CGN's pace, right? We saw them aggress out and be long, and soon maybe we'll see that come into play elsewhere as well from Ascend. So, looking at this, is it what we expected so far of this game? CGN pushing higher than what was expected? I know we have a lot of faith on Ascend on the defense in particular. How much more can we expect from Ascend on attack?
I mean, they dropped the ball a few times already.
Okay,
you know? Like, from my perspective, in this half so far, CGN was on the back foot many times, but they were able to get up and just like kind of brush the dust off the shoulders because of hero plays. We have seen Azuri with the holding hookah literally winning the round for them, right? Yeah. We have seen Azuri actually second time on that fountain hold when he baits Benny to get that double kill as well. Like those rounds should have never been won by CGN, and they were pivotal rounds as well because they put Ascend on
eco. Fair enough. Well, everybody, seems that the technical issues are persisting, therefore we're going for another break. Guys, I think it's a moment for you guys to grab more snacks. I don't know, we're probably making you fat at this point. So yeah, go to the kitchen. Go open up your cupboards. We'll be back very soon.
תאמין ששמעתי את השיר הזה כל היום. הופה, אלייב שחקן מטורף לדעתי, אם אני לא טועה, הייתה תקופה שהיה טופ 5 שחקנים הכי טובים באירופה, לא הייתה תקופה כזאת, אבל זה בסדר. יש, בדיוק כשהגעתי חזרנו.
where one team at the end of this tournament will end up in the general season of VCT EMEA. That look on the wall is actually a face.
Yeah, I don't think it's happy though.
It doesn't look very happy at all, but we are happy with the game that has revealed itself to us today, because CGN has taken quite a stance against Ascend, fairly dominating, I would say, so far. Only the first two rounds, the pistol and the follow-up, have fallen into the hands of the Eastern European team.
Yeah, and now this is going to be another really important round for Ascend, because they need to convert those ults. Gonna see if the setup is as anticipated. Actually, wait, what happened?
Element
Where's the
kill.
opening? On
Showers.
the showers. Musashi's being
Okay.
downed.
Okay.
And now that's is putting a problem or a dent in the plan from Ascend, because they cannot really rely on planting safe on A side with that Sage wall anymore. So what's the backup plan? Will they go for 4 players through hookah? Nah, that's impossible. So they are shifting their forces towards a 2-2 split, but this spike seems like it's going through hookah, and that might be disastrous, as we have seen in the past in this
Could
match.
go wrong.
That's the initiation.
Orbital strike right at the back. Vince out into the open. It doesn't even
Second
care.
time?
Alive, caught out of guard once again. Hunter Fury damaging his own teammate, but it's for good reason, because he wants to disable the opponents from moving on forwards. And CGN are just a wall that
אני לא דואג כרגע.
blockade cannot be, you know, taken down.
זה מפה של דיפנדר סייד מאפ.
Cannot find a single attacking round.
You know, that's a bit of an issue, where that initiation with Brimstone Ultimate kind of puts your opponent into exactly this
אז הם צריכים את זה 4-5 ראונדים והם מסודרים.
just being fully not threatened by anything. So, like, Ascend wanted to go onto side with a full execute while on back foot because of the numbers advantage, with no informations being gathered before, and they just banked on getting the ultimate value. So now, not only they lost 2 valuable ultimates, they're again on a lower buy.
Yeah, CGN now responding to what Ascend are throwing at them towards the A site with a Viper's Pit. Brody just doesn't care and just walks directly in it. It's a boom bot to
Oh
get a
my
double.
God.
Now that's a scary way of dying. And Element triples it up with an operator shot as well. Monster in the depth of the Viper's Pit. He's in his element. But still, even if he replaces...
Wow, was it dink,
Element himself, he'll have to drop, and slowly but surely Ascend are not really gaining any grasp of this game at all.
The boomboard Barry, I don't know, it gets the double kill. I think this is the first time in VCT that I see a double kill with a boomboard. I can't remember another one. But it is supplemented by the Viper Spit and maybe even a snake bite there. Because remember, they actually got nerfed and it doesn't deal lethal damage anymore. So there has to be something else happening there. But oh my god, that was a...
אבל ברודי ובאדי ג'י מלא איזה גרועים.
for Ascend to go through, but at the same time they at least got the Viper Spit out. So that's not a
ממש מוכרים במפה
that
הזאת.
operator has to be dealt with, and it's now holding just B long. I think it was spotted by the jump peek from Benny, so they're probably just gonna leave it be.
This proactivity from CGN is putting pressure onto Ascend as well to even push. Owl drone to the right-hand side, gaining info, of course not really spotting anybody out, but there is pressure thrown at Element right now. He's holding it out with the operator, can't take a wide angle anymore as he has been slowed down. He's got an option to go backwards through the TP, but instead he takes the aggressive route. Showstopper enabled, blast pack in. He's not going to be finding anyone with this one, is he? Because Ascend just draw all the way back as they focus their attention towards this A site. Monster, firstly, the charge doesn't quite connect. CGN have got the perfect defense for this, by the way. 3 players, Seekers as well, and the time keeps on dwindling. And it makes it even more difficult for the attacking team to move on forwards. Benny with a pick drops back even further. Ascend running out of resources second by second. Shazia!
Oi, oi, oi.
How does he do that? 2 kills out of nowhere.
And
Ascend's hopes are already in the dumpster. Benny closes the lid, and Ascend cannot breathe. 8 for CGN.
איזה רע.
CGN is just punishing the, let's say, imperfect spacing between the players on the attackers. Like, every single kill that happened here was not being traded at all, because the spacing or the timing between the players is not ideal. And that is something that right now decides the fate of the rounds. Also, kind of weird that we have seen that showstopper being used kind of like a, you know what, I'm gonna go to safety because of my ult. So that was a thing to just save his life. But at the same time, it delayed. It's delayed the players coming from B and also funneled the players into A. So that stack of 3 players on A was very effective because of that. So all of those small pieces are falling in the right places for CGN right now.
We'll be looking at a very aggressive play here onto the...
אתם יודעים, בתכלס, אלייב יכל להיות בויטליטי היום, כן? שהם אמנם לא הקבוצה... שהם אמנם לא הקבוצה הכי מדהימה בפרנצ'ייז, אבל... היה לו דיבור עם ויטליטי. פשוט לפי מה שהבנתי, כאילו, אני לא יודע את הכל. אבל לפי מה שהבנתי, הם פשוט לא רצו לשלם את הביי-אוט של לייב מאקסל. נורא קמצנים, כאילו. בגלל כל הרוסטר מניה הזה, כל הקבוצות של הפרנצ'ייז רצו להרוויח בענק ולקנות ולהביא שחקנים סוסים במחיר של כלום. ואקסל לא הסכימו, זה למה.
Focusing on Ascend here to do a grand job on defense, but when the gap is so big, it's so vast, you don't really have too much margin for error.
Well, also it puts
CGN לקחו טיימאוט ב-9-2. מפחדים מה-9-3 קרס.
Even if this half goes 9-3, without the pistol round, you're gonna have a huge obstacle in front of you. So there's incredible amount of pressure on Ascend right now to convert this round. This is their buy round. This is also the last round to get any value out of the ult.
ויטליטי לא כאלה טובים את האמת בוולורנט.
At your opponents. And they start with a 3-2 split, but again, that split is directed into Hookah. I personally don't like this, and we have seen this being disastrous twice now in this half so far.
איזה אולט גרוע.
It's a little bit optimistic, I would say, but
Just a little bit at least, but you know, the double push towards this B site has been completely stopped, and Ascend are second-guessing themselves on their next step.
remember that the Viper got nerfed, the fuel gets up from 0 in 30 seconds. The smokes from Brimstone are 19.75 seconds long, so there's a gap that the attackers can commit to on the B side when the smokes are down and the Viper wall is still not up. But that is not the moment. It already crossed. Oh, Vince gets a freebie through the Viper wall for no...
CGN don't care that their opponents haven't been seen for the past...
אין להם איך להיכנס לבי, אחי, זה הזוי.
Their opponents by the book, but Alive needs to step up here, completely flash. Monster Z to retaliate, but Vince, the exact same...
אין להם איך להיכנס לבי.
He stands strong.
אומרים לך שם סקאי, אחי. ואתה צריך לעבור גם את הווייפר וול וגם את הווייפר סמוק, אחי. זה קשה.
He was supposed to be on trial. Yeah, it's crazy the performance that we have seen from this player and yesterday as well. Like he's crazy. I really like how he played. He's like the composed player. Now they have to retake 3v1. I don't mind this that they're playing.
בודי יכול לקחת את זה.
They have to go. The only thing that they have to
אם הוא משיג 2 קילים יש לו אולט והוא ניצח.
Can't wait to see Vince on LAN as well for him to be in studio because he's not only is he majestic in game, he's majestic in style as well.
Is he?
He's got a lot of long hair.
I see you're biased.
Yeah, I know, but it's he's a majestic man, so hopefully we get to see him play here as well.
That was close.
Gets a quadruple. Yeah, it could have lined up, but still there would have been another player to deal with other than that. So that is the end of this story. The half dominantly in favor of the Germans.
בוא נראה, הפעם הבאה היא ספליט. וואלה, ספליט זה מפה טובה של הסנד, כאילו. אני לא מאמין בקאמבק, האמת, אבל אם הם היו משיגים 8-4, מילא. אבל 10-2 זה תוצאה מאוד אכזרית. מאוד מאוד. אני בספק שנראה פה איזה הפתעה. אולי הם ימשכו את זה למשהו מעניין, לאיזה 10-5 אולי. אבל אני לא מאמין פה בקאמבק.
that they're gonna be pushing into A side. And look what is Ascend doing
They
right
ran
now.
into this. They know exactly the statement that you've made. They've noticed
וואו. איזה הימור. ליאור, תתאבד בבקשה. תודה. מעריך, אחי. בוא נראה אם אני צריך לסיים את השלבים בקנדי קראש לפני שאסנד יפסידו. אני בשלב 1300 ומשהו בקנדי קראש, חכו אני אגיד לכם. רע מאוד, רע מאוד. רע מאוד. אני בשלב 1403, סליחה. אני בשלב 1403 בקנדי קראש. באיזה שלב אתם? שכל אחד יגיד את השלב שלו בקנדי קראש.
So they gathered a lot of information just by lack of action. And now they are free to go on site with the utility that they still have ready. 5v3, but
nice
no
little
trade.
micro play here from Monster, repositioning and grabbing a kill really quickly. Brody, so aggressive, he can hear the footsteps around him, gets one. This is maybe doable, 2v3, not all that impossible, especially if Masashi can keep his cool.
מקנדי קראש, אתה בבן אחי, תהנה. אל תחזור לפה יותר עד שאתה מוריד קנדי קראש, תודה. תדמיינו בן אדם בלי קנדי קראש? בפאקינג 2023, אחי, ברו. מה אתה עושה עם החיים שלך? כאילו, אתה פותח את הטלפון. ומה אתה עושה? כאילו, באמת, אני שואל אותך. אני יושב לפעמים עד 3 בלילה ועושה שלבים בקנדי קראש. תוך כדי שאני רואה איזה סדרה בנטפליקס. כאילו, איך אפשר? איך אפשר שלא להתאהב בך? וופ.
They still solo peeked and just threw it away.
It's these small mistakes that we were seeing from CGN yesterday, but this time around we're seeing them from this Eastern European side.
אני במחשב פשוט קרינג'. מילא היית אומר, אני משחק עם כדורגל עם חברים כל היום, אז אני לא יכול, אבל זו סיבה הכי גרועה ששמעתי בחיים, אני במחשב. או בעבודה. זה יותר הגיוני. אבל עדיין זה מוזר שאין לך קנדי קראש. גם בעבודה אני משחק קנדי קראש. אני מכור, כאילו. זה סמים, אחי, הקנדי קראש הזה. מכור לסוכריות. אני יכול לשחק קנדי קראש כל היום, כאילו, באמת. כל היום. יאללה, עברתי שאלה. אני ב-1405 כבר. בינתיים עברתי כבר 2 שלבים ואסן עוד לא הפסידו, יפה. וניתיני ונשתויות אותה וחולה.
Best region in the world, be a part of it. Yes, please. I take it any.
Yes, please.
Teams are fighting for now.
Please, yes.
Going equal in this series. And with his clean hold from CGN, just commencing. Musashi, the final player to drop. This has been quite the game. 1 round remaining. Ascend have got to find them. They need a perfect game to take us to overtime.
And it's
a
perfect game because
Whoop.
your opponents will most likely now tailor the plan against you.
אוי אוי אוי, לא טוב, לא טוב. יכול להיות מאוד שאני אפסיד בשלב הזה. מקווה שלא. לא! יש לי לראות סרטונים, איך אני אוהב את זה. נו, מה טיימאוט? כפרה עליכם, עזבו אתכם שטויות, go next. Go next, go next, go next.
There is a silver lining. Yesterday, CGN struggled to close out their map against Desire.
On Fracture.
On Fracture. It is a different map, I agree. But still, if you have that mental block and the inability to close out maps, it is a silver lining. I'm not saying it's not. It's a big stretch. It's a massive stretch. But for Ascend, they need to focus one round at a time.
The thing is, CGN struggled in that Fracture.
No.
And also because their lineup, the composition that they use on Fracture was lacking in round power and utility. They had no breach on there, so they couldn't like get any kind of stopping power to make sure they bolster their defenses. Now they are on attack. They have a very, very attack-focused composition, so all of the cards are on the side.
וואלה, באדי ג'י, מוסחי וברודי באמת ביזיון, אחי. לא, באדי ג'י וברודי באמת ביזיוניים במשחק הזה.
There's so much space for error for them, while there's no space for error for Ascent.
Definitely their backs up against the wall and there's someone holding their neck. Then it's pretty hard to breathe. Being smothered at this point.
And you can see how Musashi has...
אפס סקילים, כמעט מחצית שלמה, ועכשיו הם לא הורגים אף אחד.
The arrow and the sky flash combo make sure that he doesn't get an opportunity to set up the wall. So now that shower control is, let's say, out in the open. Both teams can still fight for it, but it's hard as a defender because you're just alone there. So a Sage wall is probably going to happen once there's an initiation happening. There's the information gathered from the B sky through the TP.
And now CGN are waiting for the next wave of utility. Shazion has got his recon right back up, and with this wall dropping from Ascend, they'll be looking to break through. Benny's got his guiding light back up. They're looking for this push, and they're looking to figure out the these kills. They need to light the step up.
מצטער.
He's been a big aspect of this team, and he needs to be.
אוי, נייד יפה.
He knows these tournaments. He knows them well. He's been twice in a tournament like this with Excel last year. But he's never been able to take it across the finishing line, go to a final, get the victory.
אוף, וואו, מי זה הסוס הזה, אחי? הווינס הזה. לא מחטיא ירייה. כי עברתי עוד שלב בקנדי קראש, ואסן עוד לא הפסידו. פולני ג'י? מה אתה עושה? אני שומע אותך.
But there's a rocket in the play, Azori. He knows about the HP.
And he can just play time. Snake bite dropping.
He missed it.
He misses it, but Badiji doesn't know that.
He missed it.
Looks for the fight, and Azori picks it up. CGN, they might have dropped that first map, and it might have been
GG.
close, but they've completely switched the script around and completely stopped on a set.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was an absolutely insane map, and I was not expecting CGN to perform like that, but I have to say they are great at punishing Ascent when it comes to their mistakes. They just cascade on those mistakes. Oh, let me just jump off quickly here from this chair. That's how tall I am, by the way.
That's how tall you are. I'm not even sure. Yeah, okay, you're visible. You're kind of visible. All right. Yes, that was a really good match for...
לא, אני לא יכול לשמוע אותו, אחי. לוטר כזה קרינג' בעיניי. רגע. צריך לפרסם. פעם פעם פעם. Ascend loses the second map. And map we go, and it's now tied 1-1. We go for third map. מבינים צ'אט? הבטחתי לאושרי שאני אעזור לו בשרת של גלעד, אז... לא! ככה זה חברים טובים עוזרים אחד לשני. תלמדו. קוקסינלים, זה מה שאתם, כולכם. פאק! בוא נשלח סקורבורד. נו, סוכה בלט. אשכרה. מוסחי הרג... מוסחי עם 4 פרסט דף. וואלה, הברימסון הזה פסיכודלי, אחי, באמת. באמת אל תעש... אושרי כבר מזמנה, מודיע. לא מסם את הפה שלך. לא! פאק! המשחק מוכר אותי. אוקיי, יופי. רגע, דאגתי טוב, יופי. עברתי עוד שלב בקנדי קראש. 8 דקות? וואט דה פאק, מי מת? טוב, צ'אט, אני יכול להביא ביד עכשיו איזה 5 פעמים ב8 דקות. מה? מי אמר את זה? כבר חוזרים. טו 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 טו.
Welcome back to VCT Ascension EMEA, and with that map concluded, CGN put themselves equal to Ascend one-on-one on both maps for both of these teams, but CGN did it in a more convincing fashion.
Ja, Junge.
Ja,
Insane.
echt, Dong.
Ey, krass. So schön. It was actually good. It was actually like insanely convincing in the way they played. Their defense, there's so much to talk about right here, from individual prowess to the strength. But I think, Tux, it is fair to take a look at this and be like, everybody on the CGN side performed insanely good.
So well, everyone actually performed his role perfectly. You cannot even add anything into their strategies. You can just see Ascend struggling to get into sight, because I think this game ended in the first half, not even the second, and especially when CGN got the second, second pistol round, and
You know
they
what?
just ended up.
What's the matter?
Tech pause buff. Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I think that tech pause should actually help Ascend to gain momentum and destroy CGN momentum multiple times, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at CGN, the fact that they were able to get 9 rounds back to back, make it 10, that was a scary situation as Ascend to be in, because you're so stuck in that downward spiral. How do you even get out of it? And unfortunately for them, they did not find the answer for it.
And they didn't find the answer at all. And most importantly, what was the crazy part about it, we see an Ascend playing the way we know Bind from them. Slow-paced, methodical, waiting it a little bit out here and there. And this is what we've very much noticed, that what was so crucial about us, every time they were trying to explode mid-round, there was not a single chance for the Ascend side of things. It just didn't happen. It just couldn't work out, because the defense mechanisms in the double control that it had, combined with the double initiator, where you permanently had info from Sova and Sky, nearly impossible.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult, but it was a good start for Ascend. Like, that pistol round, it was shaky from CGN, to say the least. We were like, oh, wow, you had a heart attack.
Oh, I'm happy he didn't see the...
I was in the restroom.
He went to the restroom, didn't see the Lotus
Let me see
around.
this.
Okay, but
okay.
yeah, this one was so shaky. I had a lot of question marks, but even though that didn't affect them, even though they had a shaky pistol round.
I mean, okay, so first of all, what we got to say about it is that CGN is a very resilient team. I think we've pretty much seen that already previously on Lotus, that they were even capable of coming back. So that pistol doesn't say much for me, though it's an absolute pain to watch, I imagine.
I mean, you can watch it.
I have to watch it. What should I do? Should I close my eyes? So unfortunately, I mean, I wish, but it's unfortunately not an option. So taking a look at things, it would have been nice if it worked out. It was a very good move from Ascend, pushing forward to there, and there was no chance. But, you know, this was one of the very few slip-ups. Pistol rounds overall are not as technically deep as we, for example, can say with 5 rounds.
Yeah, that was of course, I don't think Element could have done anything there, because Monster location was still MIA, missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that was the best possibility of him being Garden or in B.
Yeah, so losing that pistol round, you lose a round after that. But then CGN, they find their momentum, they find their footing. So the resilience comes back into play. Because of how close that first map was as well, you're expecting potentially a little bit of fatigue. But, you know, CGN said, not our problem. We're pushing this to split.
I think what actually gave CGN advantage on this map, they were not overreacting to whatever Ascend was doing. No matter what kind of space they've taken on hookah, whatever. Actually, after the Azure play that he made, I think that at that breaking point, they actually performed so well, because I think that actually made Ascend be more cautious by their moves, even though they had a perfect round that round, but Azure destroyed it. But so I think, yeah, they didn't overreact. Ascend tried slow pushing, they tried defaults, they tried also fast executing, and they got punished every single time for every single execution they tried.
Yeah, Azure being one of the players that we continue to highlight. I mean, even Vince with some of the clutches, got the ace on the board as well. Like, everyone is turning up to the party.
Okay, at this point in time, you knew this was going to be a spicy game. Him waiting out, even though someone was directly underneath and known, it was brilliant. All the clips and highlights we see from Azure show us the different speeds and paces that the side of CGN has chosen. What is a miracle to me, besides all those great kills he gets, is that he ended the game with 18 assists. And you're going to take a look at that in the heat map. You see his positioning, mostly passive, right? He's not over-aggressive. That one exception over down belong was not a critical case. But what had happened with CGN, in his passive positioning together with double initiator, his wall was always up when the push happened. And you'd be like, yeah, you're Viper. You gotta do that, right? But as Lothar mentioned on the desk, the Viper changes made the timing on this so much more crucial. He hit it every single time. You want to push out, you gotta wait, or you're pushing through it. Obviously, you're the Cade. Obviously, things are even worse with the snake bite coming out, and boom, you got no chance. Those 18 assists were a game changer on the Azuri side and made this team look 10 times better.
Oh, what about Vince?
Yeah, that's another game changer for him.
I think he was supporting Azuri so much with his actual smokes, giving enough time for the Viper wall to come up again. So I think actually Vince proved himself multiple times in this series so far. He got the clutches, he got the frags, and let's not forget, he got the ace on this map as well.
He's just coming back round after round, and they're fitting together really great puzzle pieces. We said it coming into this. Okay, the composition, pretty standard. We're used to this, is what we're expecting from them, but still, Ascend didn't find a way to, you know, just hit back at CGN. CGN just completely running away with that, and now we're going to be heading into Split. This is the final map. Both of these teams really have to step it up. CGN got the momentum going, so what composition are they cooking up?
There we go. There we go.
I mean, look,
The Reina.
you know what's great?
What is it?
Lothar is going to be casting the Reina. It's meant to be.
It is meant to be. I mean, first of all, to pretty much point this out, Element on Reina is not a rare occurrence. They've brought this composition in again, and they have made use of things on defense that I could have never witnessed. On the other side, we see Ascend playing a fairly standard comp, to be honest. Last time around, and this has to be mentioned, Tux, on the defensive side, they struggled big time at the beginning.
Yes, at the beginning, but they actually controlled the pace afterwards, just because Digital Athletics changed their playstyle from pistol round up until the 5th round. But I don't think that will work on CGN.
And we're back for another game of Valorant, guys. You can see the comps for the teams. You can see Elements on Reina. Fuck.
We often see a Sky coming into play.
Wow, איזה חניקה.
Obviously, the info gather that you would usually have on defense does not exist, making this a force to be reckoned with when we talk about defense, because you have to take that room. Otherwise, you'll always be swarmed over site because there's no much stopping power.
Yeah.
We'll see if that comes into place.
I want to, at one point, I want to put an eye on Baddie G on this map.
Right.
Because that guy has been switching roles so much, and he's actually very solid. And last time when we saw him yesterday, he had 19 assists.
Now, we're going to keep an eye out for that, but for both of these teams, this is their chance. This is their opportunity to claim those very needed points and top their group. We're going to be heading over to our casters. We have Lothar and Pavlos ready. Lothar, you look really happy to be seeing Arena today.
I look very happy because there's a specific reason for that. Coming into the day with Ascend playing against CGN, I knew we were going to see Arena at some point, and I also knew that this guy would be the person casting next to me. So they're playing Reina. React.
It's my favorite character in the game. I cannot wait to see the gameplay that she provides.
Nice.
איזה קרינג' מלא.
Ascend right now.
רגע, בא לי להקיא. לא יכול הקרינג' הזה.
Alright, it's a best of one. Let's go. Split is to take for us to take, you know, and I think that's the way that you need to approach it mentally, because that was a stomp.
הקטי בפה, אחי. אם הם מנצחים את המשחק הזה, לאן הם עולים? לשום מקום. עולים למקום ראשון בגרופ סטייג' כרגע.
Top 3 of the competitors in this tournament, some of the favorites. So let's see how this one works out. It is going to be Ascend on defense, CGN on attack as we enter the deciding map of the series.
And there's a big difference between those two compositions. There's a double dive composition on Ascend, which is not on the CGN.
אבל אם הם ינצחו את המשחק הזה ואת המשחק מול סו, הם בעצם מבטיחים שהם יעלו לפלייאוף. בעצם מבטיחים שהם יעלו לפלייאוף מהמקום הראשון גם, מהסיד הראשון. אני לא יודע בדיוק מה זה מביא לך,
busy towards the right-hand side. You can see...
אני לא יודע מה זה מביא בדיוק, אבל אני מקווה שלעלות מהסיד... אם אתה מהסיד הראשון, נראה לי אתה, לא יודע, משחק מול הקבוצה השנייה בבית, כאילו. לא יודע בעצם, אין לי מושג מה זה מביא לך לעלות מהסיד הראשון, אבל... כן.
So it kind of like shifted the force of the defenders towards that side because it's expected to be on the A, but now they're going to...
הראשונה לנצח שלושה משחקים, עולה. כאילו עולה לפלייאוף. אוי אוי אוי. טוב, יפה. עוד פיסטולון שאסנד מנצחים, הם לא הפסידו עד עכשיו פיסטולון מול CGN. הם לקחו 6 פיסטול ראונדים. אוקיי, לא, בעצם 5, עוד לא. 5 פיסטול ראונדים. לא, בעצם הם הפסידו בביינד, לא? לא משנה, הם הפסידו בביינד בעצם. אז 4.
Pistol round by Ascend, they get the very much needed pistol round, and now they're able to commit fully. Look at that, 5 full shields, full equipment, a judge. Where's the judge station? That's Musashi with the raise on heaven. He's single-handedly able to stop an entire push with this gun.
And Zori gets a kill with a pistol. That could also happen.
And Monster just loses the entire setup.
And the A site is under the full control of CGN.
And look at the Viper wall.
It's just giving them a space. They don't know it yet. They don't know A is clear, but they will soon enough. They're just walking in their conga line.
They get the weapon for free. It's an upgrade. And they still have, like, you know, a task ahead.
They do.
A task ahead that is not that easy to do, but they got the plan, they got the kill. This is plan minimum. They get the info and attack as well.
So this is slowly falling into place for CGN, but they've got to stick the landing. It's not all that easy, not that simple, not that straightforward. Slow. It does keep the players out of main and base, so Brody's trying to find himself to try and isolate, trying to close the back of the site. Brody clearing out all
נו, טוב, גלעד אחד, אוקיי. מה? כולם מתו? רגע, מה? איך? זה לא 4-3? זה, כן, זה כן 3. יש להם דיליי ב-HUD.
Like, I don't know, maybe we'll get a replay of what happened on that A side. How did Monster, with full shield, take an angle where he can get punished by a sheriff, if I'm not mistaken? That is crazy to me. He is literally the player that has to anchor the A side with the traps. He had a full setup there. He dies first, opens up the entire side for the taking.
לא מאמין שהם הפסידו את האנטי-איקו.
Because it allows so much space to like just be gathered if they don't get that kill. But now we have seen a normal Viper setup wall that is allowed, typically allowing you to lurk into the ramp area if you combine it with the orb.
Not gonna lie, after that 9-3 half and the devastating score, 13-2, excuse me, score for Ascend, that was the last round they needed.
Yeah, this is a backbreaker, let's say like that. Mentally, Ascend are gonna be now struggling. Or unless, of course, they really believe in each other, which I hope is the case. Yeah. But Monster, with the lazy check again, we remember his lyrics on Lotus. It was like a mirror image from that map.
Yeah, if you could copy-paste the map one onto the other, we'd be seeing the exact same thing. But of course, Ascend, you know, there weren't many expectations in this particular round, to be honest. So we can definitely give them the doubt, maybe some damage.
Oi.
Yeah, no, it's a bit rough, but still classic.
ריין הרי זה אסטרה, סייג' וייפר מול הקומפ הנורא מבאס של אסנד.
I mean, they're building up economy, they had the eco round.
לא יודע, הקומפ של אסנד הוא פשוט אטאק קומפ, אבל אני חושב שהקומפ של CGN יעשה להם קאונטר באטאק. אוי, נייס שוט.
Okay, Musashi gets one. Still on the last possible HP. Even a bullet from a classic to a leg will kill him with 22 damage. So
for real. Sorry,
he can only survive a wall bang with a classic right now.
Yeah, he's delaying his health by walking away from Azori. Are we going to see a knife kill? We're going to see a knife kill. No, we're not going to see a knife kill.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting a knife kill here. Like, you have to get every single piece of advantage. Although, there's a possible mental damage if you knife someone, so maybe should be considered.
Emotional damage.
But this is a challenge now.
Emotional damage.
Expect to lose the second round, so now they're gonna struggle because they put not only the economy on the back foot when it comes to the cash for themselves and upped it for the opponents, but also they put the opponents into a great spot when it comes to the ultimate ops. They should have not been halfway through all of their ults right now, which poses a huge problem for the defenders. Now, typically you're gonna see, by the way, I wanted to just say on B main that one way from the Omen, and they're gonna fight for the B main control early as a defender, which is pretty nice because you get a lot of space, and you have, because of that, you can put your opponents in a pinch in a mid position and in the A main.
CGN are gonna try and fight with the gap that the Omen smoke provides, and they're going to be peeking through. The thing with Alive's position, though, is that he can, at any instance, peek out of that smoke wall. Delaying, it's going to have to get broken, but Benny is wary of a position that could have been taken at a higher angle here from Brody. Musashi here to help out. It's definitely been audible. It's definitely been heard. He might lob that paint shell, and it actually could do quite a bit. Benny, thankfully for him, he drops away in time. And I think CGN scathed away with what could have been devastating damage. Now, full control of mid. They haven't budged much. They haven't gained too much control. While Ascend, they've got full garage control.
Yeah, they have it from the beginning of the round. Astra, for a moment, just leaned into that B main control, but this one way is being now counted by the Astra smoke. So Batty has to reposition, and he's just leaving that B area. Now playing from default, which opens a possible execute towards B side. It's a 2-3 split coming into to the side.
Running out of time, 25 seconds. So they have to move in right now, and I don't think Musashi has been seen with that eye, so he can visibly see it, and he can.
Oh my god, nice, bro. אוי אוי אוי, באדי ג'י, אחי. באדי ג'י, ברודי, הם חייבים להתעורר, וואו. הם מכרו בביינד והם מוכרים גם עכשיו.
And they don't know about the one-player position, so they're expecting still a lurk.
It's a crossfire. Vince trying to hold it, trying to be patient. No reason to.
Ay, ay, ay.
Why? Because he then can swing and find one alive, stabilizing 1v1.
לא!
But Vince is quicker to the trigger.
6 HP. אם היה לגילת פנטום, הוא לוקח את זה, איזה באסה.
Not only they lost the second round after winning the pistol, but now the first full buy round goes towards the opponents, and it started with a
וואו, הם כאלה גרועים, ברודי ובאדי ג'י. טל, מיטל תובעת אותך בסוף, נראה לך? what the fuck? נראה לך שהיא יכולה לתבע אותי, מה הזאת?
So now they're gonna be struggling again. Musashi with the showstopper and the judge, if not avoided by the opponents, can shift the scales, tip the scales this round. But it all depends on the amount of pressure that the defenders are doing to funnel the opponents into him. And so far, semi-successful because of the Omen smoke in B main, so they gathered towards mid. The Cypher controls the A main, there was no pressure being done. The AWP from Viper actually denies the info, if I'm not mistaken, from that camera when it's up. So that might pose a problem. Now they get the information about the one market player. And the attackers though know that the players from B main are very deep.
Musashi, sneaky
There's
boy.
the judge. He gets one. Showstopper ready. Will be to be used.
Ooh, Azuri trying to push forwards here, and he
טל, פגעתי 10,000 ברול, ראית? איך אני אראה?
want to let that unpunished. Blades used well. Ascend actually picking up weapons here, and will try to utilize them. Baddy G though, he was one of the phantom players, and now he's no more. And as we set up here, we're looking at a B-site take. There's two players hiding out for Ascend here to defend. Slowdown, will it be enough? Showstopper, denying the resurrection. It was an ult for ult. Is it worth it? CGN still better firepower-wise. But again, the time is against them.
מה זה?
To move in.
בגלל מפרצת. קיצה, מכרתי לאסיף? מה מכרת לו? ולמה מכרת לאסיף? what the fuck?
And that will cost him. He loses his life, and Brody on site will drop as well. Alive, everything to do. And he's a bit too far away to deny the spike plant. Knives out. Element low. Shazian needs to be taken up with a headshot.
אסיף לוקח סבבה? אתה יכול להשיג יותר טוב לפי דעתי.
But he has to check behind the boxes as well. And he will not, because Element is hiding there and will shoot him in the back. CGN, unrelentless and unstoppable.
If you would have seen me on the camera, I'm like visibly shook because Ascend many times are being punished for the overpeaks that they do, and CGN
אבל באף זה לא יודע כמה זה אמין באף, אתה יודע.
gameplay on all of the free maps actually
בשביל למכור, לא יודע, יכול להיות כי... מה מכרת לו אבל? איזה סכין?
here by the G going into that mid space when they know they pushed away after the opponents after the utility from Musashi being used, he goes into a stack of multiple players and gets the kill, and that is a problem that Sen needs to fix because right now CGN are in the driver's seat and they have multiple ults to just completely straw roll.
Fade Butterfly. יפה. בסוף הסיב גם יקבל בן לאינבנטורי שלו. כמו כל הטריידרים. לא נראה לי. כל האנשים האלה אוכלים בן בסוף. טוב, לא כולם, אבל רובם. ואם לא, אז מס הכנסה תופס אותם.
Now let's see if there's any utility that can punish that position. There's a pain shield, but where is Musashi? He's going there. Look at this position. That's so funny. Yeah. That pain shield's gonna land there. Here we go. He's dead. He's dead. That's how big of a power a Cypher camera has in this game. The information gathering is huge, and I thought that orb is actually there to counter that.
Brilliant into the smack. Musashi trying to break through the wall as soon as...
איי, נו, ברודי! למי שצריך לשלם מס... אסיפה לך דרך להלבין, את האמת שכן. לכאורה אבל, כמובן.
And this time, they punish the overpeak. Element peeking out with the operator, just dry peeking that angle while being fully exposed right here to heaven without checking it first is something that is a very high risk.
שמע, ברודי איימר כזה גרוע. זה הזוי שהבן אדם הזה משחק הוא באדי ג'י עוד יש לו את הקטעים שהוא סוס, אבל אוברול גם לא יש איים נורא חלש. מוסחי, מנסטר וגילד הם האיימרים הכי טובים. אז איך הוא בקבוצה כזאת? כי הוא IGL טוב. IGL לא חייב להיות הכי... זה מטורף. פשוט אתה חייב מישהו שהוא יודע להיות IGL, אחי. כאילו, הוא לא IGL מטורף, כן? אבל הוא IGL טוב. לפי דעתי... לא, לפי דעתי צריך להחליף אותו, אחי. יש כל כך הרבה IGLים שהם גם שחקנים יותר טובים ממנו. וואו, גילד אחי, תעשה אותי. תעשה אותי שלישייה, יא דפוק אחד. תעשה אותי כל יום, כל היום בשבוע, אחי. עכשיו ומיד. יאללה, עליה על הדיפיוז כבר, ליצן. Touch of the spike, but doesn't stick it again. Yes, nice. Finds a bullet to the head, and there you have it. Ascend will be able to secure. Nice. Was, guys, was? Unorthodox one. We have seen it already once, but it cuts the first area of the site in half. Allows those very similar lurks that can. Old first kill, McGillwood. Kind of the same idea behind it, and it was very effective. But then. Fell apart because just no utilities being used to clear the potential operator or the cipher that is holding the angle, so they pay the price. חבר'ה, נראה לכם נראה דארלינג מתישהו בפרנצ'ייז?
The player from elbow takes the first contact instead of the player coming from A main. So Ascend is able to convert those advantages that they had because it's the other way around that you would normally expect it. And again, B main control is being taken by Ascent with that one way. And it's like, it poses a threat. They don't need to hold it, but the
דארלינג ישר ב-VCT?
unless you take the risk. So they are funneling in.
איזה goat.
And this is another area that is now being held by Alliance.
Greatest of all time.
He's been influential due to his early picks, but misses the mark and uses an updraft to get away. Masashi, he's been looked at. We can see it, but he can't. But he can feel it at least. He's going to get challenged here, isn't he? As soon as the nebula deteriorates, they're going to try right past him. And that's where Shazion reveals himself. Paint Shell's right after it. Blast back again. Both razors have...
איי, מה? איך אתה מחטיא את זה?
He messes his own spray up. And
איך?
he has to drop. CGN, stabilize.
That was so beautiful. That was... He put the paint shells...
יום יבוא ופנאטיק ישקלו להחליף את דרקי בדארלינג. מת. לא! הנה ברודי, לא הולך להרוג אף אחד. הוא היה בפוזישן של מינימום קיל, כאילו מינימום. מינימום קיל, מקסימום 3, אחי. והוא לא יהרוג אף אחד. אוקיי, הוא הרג את ה-4 HP. יפה, לא משנה. סמוק? מה? בן סונה, יאללה, שמור את האופ.
Knows where the second is as well as the third. Runs out of space, runs out of bullets as if the world is closing in on him. Increasing...
איי, אם הוא הורג אותו זה דפיוז. נודר בראש.
Is able to put CGN right back on top, right back in control.
Good crossfire set up by Sigender with the Astra ultimate. Like even without that kill on the Cypher jump peeking through the ultimate, I feel like it's such a hard position to go through as a defender for the retake. Because you're not able to peek fully without being met by two different angles that are holding you. And that was very visible after getting this kill. Alive was in a position, like how do you get one kill without a lucky flick on the other one? Yep. It's almost impossible. And they play patiently. They don't overpeak, they know the player's running out of time. He also used both smokes. There's no way of getting onto the spike and just getting a half with the smoke from the jet. So this was an easy hold from the attackers. But you have to say, Element went huge with the opening kill on short. And it was just him dry peeking as a Reyna with that confidence buff when it comes to the ultimate. He gets that kill, gets the heal, gets the potential scouting ability with the dismiss to get information about other players. And that is currently kind of snowballing. So CGN winning 5 rounds is already a good score.
I'm praising you, Lothar, because I know it takes a lot to praise a
יש שי שלא מצליח להרוג ולהיות טיימר טוב. גם קבוצה לא יכולה להמשיך ככה ולצפות להישגים מטורפים. נכון. אבל קשה היום למצוא ג'ל ברמה גבוהה שמתאים לכימיה של הקבוצה שלך. מה לעשות?
Depending on his shots, that is the buff that he gets when he's playing that character. Oh, one way being missed. That is a potential opportunity for CGN.
Yeah, they're not quite in position to capitalize it just now because they don't really have all of their eggs in that particular instead.
No, איך אני זוכר שהוא מפעיל את הדש ככה סתם?
Similar to what we've seen before. They love this control. Not much to work with here for the Send. Minimal weaponry and firepower. This crossfire setup, though, might be what's good for them. They're waiting on the paranoia for Batty G. Maybe come win with a pick from Alive. Remind you, Alive is the only player with a Vandal, so the only one with potential impact. Vince will be dropping back. The Penchill's forcing him out, but he's got assistance now. No, he's actually alone on that.
Brody just pushes in with a classic.
They're trying to pincer them in, but they don't really have the facility to do so.
And so far, their hold is successful on a round when they don't really need to hold anything because they need to get some potential fights for that player with the Vandal. And that was unsuccessful. But look what
הם יודעים שיש שחקן בטיספון.
all the players towards the A side. And the full stack is happening. Sage hears the rotation. She hears the Astra player into the water. So now everything is happening right. The entire stack on site.
Benny leading the charge, Alive.
איי גלעד. אוי! אוי מאחוריך בלט! טופוי נחוי.
Taking down Masashi's been the troublemaker. They knew Brody was pushed out of B. Do they know he's gone all the way around? There's a potential phantom at his feet to collect.
Oh, they know.
12 bullets. Are slow towards Benny, but he's got
Benny.
down. And CGN play patient. Gets Vince behind the box.
He still has the wall to potentially out.
פה פשוט בא ופתח לייב אחרי חצי שנה. ראית? לא, אתה כזה רע, אתה כזה גרוע, אתה כזה נוב, אתה כזה אפס, לוזר, קונוס, מכוער בפנים, משקף אופר.
And I would love to see repetition of this on a full buy round, because the way that they pinched the opponents with the utility and just literally just pushed them away into the direction that they wanted them to go in was really well done. The problem is they were holding the angles with pistols, and the only saving grace for that round was the utility from the raise. Getting the double kill with the showstopper, isolating the players with the painters was crucial, but still not able to capitalize on those kills was the problem because of the hardware. But still, let's go in.
בני ילד רע, איזה סאצ'לים אחי, אתה פאק. איזי ריטייק, באמת שאיזי ריטייק, כאילו, הריטייק הכי קל שראיתי בחיים, באמת. זה פשוט הריטייק הכי קליל ואיזי ו... טוב, ברור. למה אתה לא מפעיל אותו אבל? המשחק נראית מזעזע, טרו. למה כבר ראיתי את זה פעם, אתה יודע? יש לי דז'ה וו מהפוזישן הזה, איפה שאלמנט עמד ושלושה מפיקים אותו. רק שפעם האחרונה שזה קרה, הבחור עשה טריקי. הטורקי הזה. מי זה היה שם? במשחק הקודם. זה היה רוקסיק. שש ארבע. שוב. הקומפ של לאסנד הוא בעיקר עתק לטעמי. אז אני חושב שיש להם סיכוי לקחת את זה. הם אמורים לנצח גם את הראונד הזה, אם לא יהיה פה איזה קסם או ניסים. בדי ג'י עם הג'אג' יפה, פולני מסריח. אל תיכנס לתוך הסמוק, טיפש! אוי, למה שתיכנס לתוך הסמוק, אחי? אתה יודע שאתה נגד לואו ביי? אתה יודע שאתה נגד לואו ביי? ואין להם מה להפסיד? אז אתה נכנס לתוך הסמוק? פולני טיפש.
In this case, CGN reads into that and posts the player early into that smoke, and they punish that possibility. Dry peeks into an operator, unlucky.
I mean, considering the early kill, it was super important for CGN to pick it up, but they had to sustain.
גבר.
Sashi doesn't even get traded or punished here. When that blast back gets out of harm's way.
Very much deserved.
Still in the fight, again, without sufficient weaponry to be equally challenging their opposition. Got to win a couple of duels. That wall needs to get broken again to put pressure onto us.
אוי לא, ברודי לבד ועוד עם ונדל. רוץ, ברודי, רוץ, רק אל תביא להם את הוונדל, רוץ, אחי, תתחבא. תתחבא, הוא מביא להם ונדל, אוי. אומי גאד! מג'ישן, אחי, מה זה היה? ג'י. יש! W in the chat. מה זה הרווייב הזה? הוא חשב שיש לה סמוק עוד זמן. הוא חשב שיש לה סמוק עוד זמן, אבל הסמוק בדיוק ירד שהוא אכל רווייב. וואלה, גילד ומוסחי, מלא, הם לוקחים את המשחק הזה ורצים איתו, אחי. בדי ג'י, מנסטר וברודי, פשוט ישנים בעמידה. בוא נראה כמה רושמים עליו בצ'אט.
times that they're trying to catch their opponents unawares without, you know, alerting them with utility of their push, trying to get their, advantages that way. Alive, though, can afford to do that with his operator, and he's been rewarded with it so far, more than their opponent has, which is why Sen has been slowly catching
Buddy GG.
out 6-6 before they enter the second half. But for CGN right now, guaranteeing this one with the ultimates they have at hand is what they're looking to do. Increase that lead.
Buddy GG. 9,000 צופים. מטורף לגמרי. מה עם המשחק שלהם? נו.
Different orb a little bit, this time fully covering the A side entrance because the wall is also different and covers heaven, but leaves a gap, by the way, on the heaven. That is such a peculiar wall.
Interesting.
טוב, לא יודע.
It's like trying to bait people into peeking in that area so you can spam it.
Could be. We might not be seeing it into effect, given that the rest of CGN...
They cleared the corner that was being abused by Ascent so many times.
Fair enough.
Now they hear about the sage wall. There's a huge gap in that sage wall, by the way.
Which is covered by a dark cover.
And there's
poison cloud.
There's so much util in that space.
Push. Yeah, the thing is, even if you enable the poison cloud there, you can't push through the wall. They know, Ascend know of such, so they're not really ultra concerned. So they stick to their guns to the left-hand side. Although mid not quite occupied, they'll know of a potential A pass. Yeah, that trip they have.
The thing is, that smoke kind of...
אני לא אוהב את מה ש-CGN עושים בראונדים האחרונים. מה שהם עושים הם פשוט מתקמפרים במיד והולכים לישון כאילו בעצם. פשוט הולכים לישון במיד. וזה משהו שקורה מלא ברנקד. הקבוצות פשוט הולכות למיד ואז אותו אחי, מה שהם עושים עכשיו. כאילו או שהן עומדות במקום או שהן פורצות כמו קונוסיות. יכולת להעביר לפחות את הטימית שלך, בדי. כל הכבוד, טיפה בקשוט קילס ככה. טיפה בקשוט קילס לאגו. אני אוהב את זה. אוקיי, אינפו, יפה, יפה, מטורף, חשוב. חשוב. טוב, אתם יודעים ששניהם בצד ימין. נייס. נייס, יפה מאוד. 6-6. לא רע.
6-6 on defense, not terrible, not great. We know where the spot was from, but in general, Split is a map I do like to say it's a little bit more attacker based when the teams are coordinated. And Ascent's composition is, in my eyes, very well tailored for attack because of the double potential explosive mobility going onto site. But as you mentioned actually in before we went into this map, there's no initiation here. The only initiation coming from this Ascent composition is coming from the and that's it. That's the only tool that kind of opens up space without filling walls because it goes through them. There's no other flashes. There's like the only potential that you can use the boomboard, but it's slower than your potential mobility. So that poses a little bit of problems. And CGN now, Reina on defense actually is very potent because of the possible off angles.
יופי, עכשיו שומעים אותי.
Let's see what the pistol round is like. 1-4-0.
cut.
0 is because there's a trap holding that angle. So they're not anticipating.
Yeah, holding out to the left-hand side as Ascent again try to navigate this mid.
יופי. המסנן רעשים הזה לא עובד.
No, it really didn't. It's broken and Ascent are going to be walking past the element.
אוקיי, חייב את הפיסטול. חייב. לא התחלה טובה. התחלה טובה. התחלה מצוינת. חרה של נייד אחי, תתבייש לך שאתה שם נייד כזה. יפה מאוד, התחלה מעולה. חרה של וול מהסייג', הוא שם את הוול? לא. לא, הוא לא שם. אוי, יפה יפה. אל תיתנו לאלמנט קיל ואנחנו בסדר.
still, not all has been done, but
אוי.
repositioning, especially if they push towards
מאוד, איזה ראונד, man.
the final kill.
יאללה, עכשיו גלעד יביא איזה טריק עם המרשל עלי רמפ ככה.
Very much needed for Ascend because this is like, you know, like the map favors the attackers, but it's just by a small margin. And if you're not able to capitalize on the early snowball here, like Split is just such a tough map to go through if you don't have a solid plan for attacking. And wow, that buy, we see a Navi buy here coming in from Ascend. Two Ghost players that are just literally gonna shadow Musashi and Alive to pick up the guns if something happens to them. So this is a potentially, I wouldn't say explosive round because those Vandals want to take a little bit of a longer range fight. So they go with a 4-1 split.
Well, that slow is actually going to do quite a bit, especially if CGN would have elected to peek that, but you don't really want to take that long distance fight when you're up against rifles. Monster, though, he's not ghosting one of his teammates. He's actually going front first with the ghost, and I feel like so many of the times, even on these bonus rounds, it's the lesser weapons that end up with the kills. But they're cleaning up. They've been called in for janitorial duties. Sweeping, dusting, it's all done. All they need to do is lock the door as they close out for the night. And CGN, I think they're going to have to start thinking about the next round.
Yeah, this is gonna be like just getting exit kills from CGN here. So hopefully Element and Azuri are gonna get some frags at the end to make sure that they deny some economy from the opponent. But at the same time, two players have ghosts, so they can pick up those weapons, right? So that's why you have a buy like this. But I want to comment Ascend here. I really like how they entered the site with a perfect timing on the paranoia. The paranoia affects a potential defender in that spot, but the players are not pushing during the first tempo of it, but they just like literally peek in the moment before that paranoia runs out. So the player who is affected is thinking
איחרתי.
because no one is
סבבן.
and he's almost ready to re-peek into the angle, so he's lingering next to the wall, and that's the moment when the opponent strikes. And if they're gonna keep up with the mobility and that paranoia exactly like the way they played it here, that's gonna be a really successful execute. But the problem is, there's only one paranoia, and if they miss that timing, they're not gonna have the opportunity. Defender's actually leaving the completely mid-open. That's an interesting approach.
Doesn't even come down to that, because Shazion is able to find the first pick. Azuri gets challenged onto the safe site, but Element hasn't been spotted.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Doesn't go for trigger discipline play, ends up on top and runs away. Dismissed, but not quite. Musashi doesn't
עשי את ההגדרות של היוטיוב.
Oh well, 3v3 though, it's close. Spike at the back of the site. Ascend actually playing this very passive. At the same time, trying to cover the cross line onto Heaven. Heaven.
Yeah. But they have perfect hardware in this potential post plan. They still had 3.
Oh dear me! How did that happen? Ascend.
That was a nice combo of the Sage Slow and the Pangel still available here. It was actually crazy. And now Vince isn't the 1v3.
Can he do it? It's difficult. It's definitely everyone's all over the place.
המפה.
Right behind the corner.
9-6 זה מבטיח בהחלט.
So Ascend, they find themselves a streak of rounds. 3 in particular this half.
And now we can see how big of a value that buy in the second round holds. Because the potential of the next round is just being lifted up. Have so many rifles around. So it's not really a bonus round anymore. It's like almost a full buy round.
וואלה כן.
In this case, not only they can capitalize on the utility because they have the
אחי, עושה עבודה טובה.
range angles, because
אתה יודע למה אנשים קוראים לו מוסאשי, אחי? זה פאקינג מוסאחי.
not only they gathered 3 rounds in a row, ruined
מוסאחי מחסני חש...
utility, sorry, ultimates on.
טוב מאוד, בדיגי.
And they get the first blood.
בדיניג.
Super important.
Insanely.
But at the same time, CGN, again, on Sheriffs, right? I think the fact that Ascend have been able to break CGN and the moment where rifles are in play for them is exactly what they need.
די סיל אחי, אתה על 3... במקום 1 HP אתה על 1 HP אחי, אחלה של היל, כל הכבוד לך סטייג'. במקום, עכשיו אתה לא מת, אתה מת עדיין בוואן שוט של ונדל כמו קודם. איזה היל מיותר. וואו, הוא פרץ את הבי, איזה אינפו.
By the way, pay attention to the positioning of the Viper right here, because she has the second wave of defense in the Viper wall, but she's not gonna have fuel to back it up right now. Well, there's a little bit of it.
בוא! בן זונה, איימלאב אחי, פאקינג איימלאב פרי.
Flying planes in this one.
איזה קוף.
Crazy tracking.
Insane.
איימלאב פרי אחי.
Look, it was only one kill for CGN at the end of the day. They weren't expected for much out of it.
תראו את הריפליי אחי. חבר'ה, תשקיעו באיימלאב, תשקיעו באיימלאב, תראו איזה נפלאות וניסים זה עושה. תראו, תראו! בום!
Knocked out of the air.
איימלאב חבר'ה, רק איימלאב.
Double digits, that's a problem though for CGN to face. Like, again, there's not a lot of leeway for CGN right now, and they might end up in a similar position like Ascend was on Bind, when they cannot make any mistakes. And that is a really a game.
אולי צריך ללמוד ממנו.
Think about the game.
Ooh, Azuri might be point blank with everyone.
They know about him.
Team showstopper.
אוהו, איזה מזל. וואו! איזה פוש, מלא. לא רוצה להגיד את הנאצי וורד, אבל איזה פוש נאצי. הנה, גילד לא מחטיא כאלה בחיים, כאילו, בחיים אבל, בחיים, בשום עולם, בשום יקום, בסה. ג'י ג'י. לאן אתה מסתכל, ברודי? מה זה אלר כזה? הבן אדם מוריד דינק לחבר שלך מהסיטי ואתה לא מסתכל? הפסדנו את הראונד, תראו מי נשאר. ג'י ג'י. אשכרה לקח את זה, אני לא מאמין. הקוקוס הזה. Very nice.
So that was a lot of pressure on Sage from Ascent, on Brody here to just perform, because you have to peek. When someone taps the spike at half, you cannot just let it happen, because your opponent might just fully defuse in 3.5 seconds. So there's no space to make another decision than just take the gunfight. And Element was ready for that, but he lost it. And that's like, you know, 50-50 can happen, right? But this is another disaster for CGN now. Not only they lost the third round, their full buy. When you look at the rounds, they didn't win a single round on defense. Not only that, the play that they had set up on the on the A side this round, when Azuri was just trying to go into an aggressive angle with the orb, he was denied because of the Cypher Cage. The Cypher Cage giving info allowed the race to...
וואלה, גילד פסיכופת, אחי, 28. אחי, קצת דפס, אחי, בכל הזה, והבן אדם תמיד מפיק ראשון. זה פשוט הזוי לחשוב שהוא מנצח כמעט כל דואל, אחי. זה למה הוא 28. לא יודע, 28, אתה מגיע ל-28 או שאתה עושה בייטים, או שאתה פשוט מטורף, כאילו. איזה חרא של סאצ'ל. איזה חרא של פליי נודר. זה נגיד רש לא טוב, אחי. לפחות מונסטר ישיג אחד בלרק, אחי. אין מצב שמצפה לו, אין מצב, החנאג' בן ארי הזה. לא מאמין, אחי, תראה. איזה קוקס. נו, סימפלנד, גבר, מי אתה חושב שאתה? סימפלנד ופרוסט סיטי כבר, יא נוב. לוזר, יא אפס, יא מונקי. מונגול. אתה לא מסוגל להרוג מישהו שבא לך בשיפט, אני מת. זה כזה גרוע. הוא פשוט הלך בשיפט וכפכף אותו. תראו, בשיפט הוא הלך וכפכף אותו עוד בלי נשק ביד.
Ascend just went in, like, didn't care about the utility.
Right.
They got punished, but they said...
איך יש לו 14 קילים? what the fuck?
slow and patience.
הוא הורג FKs?
Rated the players that were double dived on the site. Jet didn't trade the raise. The raise didn't get a kill, so everything just fell apart. Let's see what the setup is right now, because it seems like 1-3-1, but not exactly. Two players are lingering towards the B.
Oh my god, איזה אולטים יש ל-CGN, אחי, what the fuck.
Change the responsibility. So now
הם חייבים להוריד את הווייפר.
here's the sage wall. He has to destroy that sage wall to put pressure on the defenders. And he knows he's in a dangerous area. Remember, they have less ammo right now, so he starts spamming 2 wall parts, so he only has a clip and a half now left for the entire round.
הולי שיט, אחי, הם הורידו לו מגזין שלם לוונדל ולפנטום. איזה קרינג'.
In riflery power. Full mid control here for Ascend as they pushed quite far up, but don't really want to secure it.
אחי, בסיס יש לך בעיקרון אינפיניטי אמו, אחי. למה בוולורנט הם צריכים להתחכם כל הזמן? תראה, יש לך רק 6 יריות באוואפ, אחי. למה הם מתחכמים כל הזמן, הבני שרמוטות האלה? אחלה רז. אבל שעשית אותו לבאדי ג'י. עוד ראיתי פורץ צעיר רק בשביל רז. אוי, לא. אוי, בלט. אחוי. גילד בחיים, הוא לא הרים את האופ, שזה טיפה מבאס אותי. Not gonna lie. נייס! הוא למטה, גבר, אתה יודע שהוא למטה, הוא הרג את הטימית שלך. איי, גילד! לא נכון, לא נכון, לא. גילד, לא. לא. איזה פריקי לי, מלא. שיהיה לנו שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב.
on the fly how he can benefit from the bad position that he is put in. But in general, I would say that CGN could have gotten, like, they got outplayed by the opponents and by their own positioning, but just won the duels. And they because of that, they were able to win the round.
You can hear the cry of the blades. Get out the way. Definitely not in that tone, but you guys get the idea. Still, it is the attack towards this right-hand side, this A site, paranoid. No, that's actually a dark cover being thrown over to assist the push. Leading the charge alive, trying to avoid paint shells thrown at him. Drops Masashi, quick to die. Element leads away out into safety. Monster.
תגיד, טל, במה אתה עובד? עובד עליך.
And now Vince up against Alive here.
יופי, 11.
Position to be in, but Ascend execute nicely. They're fully under control.
Yeah, and they have a 4v2 post plan. Now the thing is, they're all stuck on site, stuck in one position. 4v2.
אוי!
One way. Is such a
הם לא אמרו שהם ביטלו את הוואן ווי של האומנס, אחי. איזה חרטטנים הוולורנט האלה. אוי, איזה נייד כואב. טוב, יפה. 12-8. G fucking G.
That was a very scary round for both teams, and I cannot even express how much value that one-way had. You can imagine, like, oh, he can just put it on the bottom, you know, just on the floor, and it's like a normal smoke. But that would most likely end up with players still pushing through it. He took the time to make the one-way, and I'm certain that he did it like in milliseconds, because Bad G has a lot of experience on the Omen. So putting those one-ways in a split second is so pivotal, so important in those moments. That's a fast attack. Okay.
That's very fast. And that's what you can really gain having this double duelist setup on this attack.
איזה חרש.
Steamroll your way through.
אני עוד הייתי בטוח שזה הטימייט שלו, אחי.
He's Baddie G. He's just the baddie, you know?
אי מלא. איזה חרש אלמנט, אני בהלם. אוי אוי אוי. אי מלא קלין. GG's. After very intense. Very intense. Best of 3. Laasned takes the W. They are first. 2 wins and 0 loses. If they win the next game, they win the next game versus. So, no. זה הפרוטוקול. איזה נחתן, גוטה נחת. סתם האלה. נכון, מחר זה מול סו? לא זה. רגע. לא, מחר זה מול דזייר. מה? סורי. If they win to the Italian. Italian split. They confirm. No, they guarantee. Guarantee. Very. וואלה דזייר הפסידו 2-0 ל-CGN, אז לאסנד לא אמור להיות בעיה לנצח אותם. אני לא רואה צ'אט, חכו, אני שולח תוצאה. טוב, חבר'ה, אני סיימתי, אני צריך לך מוקדם.